Hi. Oh, my camera. Hi guys. How you doing? Oh yeah. It's skycat live. And it is that'll be 11:30 in the morning on 125 2024. That is a Thursday. 125 2024. And thank you so much for tuning in to my stream today. Today we will be playing some Enshrouded and some EVE Online and some New World and some Skyrim, I suspect, but I don't know. And I am enjoying Enshrouded immensely, though I am a little bit disappointed from its multiplayer execution. But other than that, I think it's a very good single player game, and I don't mind it. I wasn't really expecting to get into a single player Elden Ring experience, but I am enjoying it. And today I was going to talk a little bit about EVE Online on the big screen because there's nothing really to show here. Oh, I guess there is. I will begin to speak, but I will also drop it off the big screen here in a minute, and I will run some EVE Online, which I suppose will also I will need a visual aid, so I will load that right now as I'm speaking. But I have decided the next step of my career in EVE Online will be to run dual accounts, one Orca, one Mackinaw, which is an exhumer, which is a mining barge, which is how you get ice, which is the fuel for the Orca, which is a giant whale of a ship that helps you with mining boosts and mining foreman stuff and mining compression while you're out there on the belt.
Connecting.
And sorry, I gotta. This is on the wrong screen, which is so annoying to me. Why are you on the wrong screen? Now you're so annoying to me. I don't know. Maybe that one's okay on the other screen, actually. Shit, why not? I mean, does it matter? Yeah, I don't think it really matters. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna need it in windowed though. I will need it in windowed, yeah. Seems like the client kind of froze. It's annoying. But anyways, why am I sitting on 60 FPS? It seems like you have capped my FPS, which is no-go. That is a no-go. We must go see what that is about. $120. But Eve is only pulling 60 for some reason. I don't know why. Wait, okay, what? Yeah, there you go. Yep. I don't know. And then we gotta come to windowed mode for this one as well. And there is my visual aid. Sorry, I'm just kind of pulling things so I can talk about what I was going to talk about here. So, I have made some decisions today and spent some money and looked into what I was going to do. And I have now, sorry, the audio is not balanced on this client, and I must fix that. I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's. I mean, honestly, I don't really need almost any sound from you. Yeah. Where was I? I'm terribly sorry about that. Where was I? I am talking about, my future in Eve. And why am I getting 60 FPS? That seems wrong. I want to go back and see if the VSync is off. I want the VSync off, damn it. There. What? Yeah. There we are. Take the VSync off. Why would you VSync to 60? That seems weird. Now I'm worried about VSync in other games. Are you VSyncing to a bad frame rate? Yeah. You might be. You might be, yeah. Or is the VSync on? Yeah. Turn it off. A little better. Okay, so anyway, sorry. So now I can focus. You can see the software just attacking me in real time while I'm trying to get things done in the background. So today I spent $50 on a gold pack for EVE Online, which is kind of exorbitant for me on a secondary account with the goal, and I got 3 months of game subscription time. I got 2.8 billion ISK, and I got and I missed a sale on that. I could have saved $15 and I didn't, which kind of sucks. But the sale did help me realize what I wanted, and so I now am today. I bought I bought the pack. I got my Plex. I bought a whole bunch of skill plans on my alt, and I will now drop the big screen to show you what I'm talking about here. And we'll go back and we'll activate here. As you can see, I have re-upped my old account that I have not touched since 2013. That had 4 million skill points on it, and I laid out a skill plan today, going all the way through the requirements to fly an Orca, which is a good bit of tactical content for the stream, so I'm going to talk about it. What was I going to say? I thought I pulled this, but I didn't. It's EVE Orca Guide, right? And I pulled the skill plan right off the EVE University Wiki. Will be my lesson plan. And so I'm going to crash course what it is I did today. Now, you won't see these changes for 5 months, which you'll see reflected here. 167 days. I don't know what that is in weeks, but 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 would be 4. So that's 4 months plus 17 days. So this is 4 months and 17 days of training, which I don't know what day that'll be from now. I wish they would tell you what date it'll be that it will finish, but it won't. And so, and I'm going to talk about, I spent 2 hours this morning just thinking. I was lying in bed and I was just thinking about what it is I wanted from mining in high sec, because it is a great deal of period of it is a great. I want to turn down the UI sound because it's like so annoying. I don't need the UI sound from this client almost at all, really. Honestly, it can be, the master can just sit, frankly. So, the skill plan, the skill plan. So, as you can see, I purchased the pack. I've got 2.5 billion ISK sitting there. And my first plan is to go through to Cybernetics 5, and I'm going to play some Enshrouded here, but I did want to talk about EVE while it's fresh in my mind, because I felt like that it was some good long-term content for the stream. So we're going to look at a skill plan here. So we have Cybernetics to 5, which is to get another set of AUGs in, a nice 5 or 650 million set of AUGs. Level 5 is as high as they go to upgrade your skill plan. To upgrade your skill point gain. And so I'm going to blow of this 2.493 billion ISK. I'm going to blow 600 million of it on AUGs. So that'll drop me down to 1.8 or something like that around there. I will let that money just sit on this account for a long time, for like 4 months or something like that. I will not touch it, and I will just keep farming on my main in the meantime. I could run both accounts, but I'm not interested in dual boxing yet until all it is a boost. All it does is provide buffs. That's all the dual box is. It doesn't really, I mean, it mines, but it doesn't really have the same sort of attention span that the miner does. It can sit back and be very, very passive on a belt. I'm seeing all these other boomers around me sitting there with between 2 and 6 accounts, somewhere around there, depending on what their sanity level is. And I believe I'm going to rejoin that dual boxing corporation thing, the dual boxing club, because I think I fit there, and I don't really want to run the second client very much. I'm actually not even going to put it on the main screen, believe it or not. I'm going to let it sit on the other screen, and all it's going to do is get a boost. That's it. I come over here and I surf, and I do all the warping and stuff, and you guys can just get to watch the pretty main that's got good graphics and stuff. But in the background is another account that's working towards my overall growth and all this in the end. And so now you know, and yeah, and this client's looking pretty good. These clients are running pretty well, you know, and so I'll have a secondary running in the background. And so today I worked on the skill plan, which you will see reflected here. And so I'm going to pull a guide, and I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to run over here, and I'm going to talk about the individual skills that I do, because this is excellent RPG content for my stream. And let me get a little bit closer and a little bit more sexual, little bit more in touch with you guys, a little bit closer. Oh yeah, I just turned myself on thinking about it. Anyways, so I have a whole shebang of a very specific plot. People think that I don't have this kind of discipline. The difference is I'm Marty McFly, right? But when it comes down to it, I'm also Doc Brown, right? And I'm happy go funny, and I like the drugs, or happy go lucky, and I like the drugs and the women, and I can be a pretty social, crazy dude, but I can be Doc Brown in the background too. I'm both Marty McFly and Doc Brown. I'm both Rick and Morty, you know, and so I'm going to talk about the RPG stuff that I'm doing. I am interested in engaging in and running training for 3 months on an account that I'm not even really, I'm going to use, but not right away. It'll be some days. It'll be in a week. I will have an account that I will use in the background to double my income. And then eventually it will like 3 or 4x my current daily income by getting a booster alt called the Incredible Orca, right? It's called the Orca mining support ship, and this is a good bit of EvE lore. So we'll get to the skill plan in a moment, but I will begin to talk about the Orca here, and you will also hear some Orca videos on my channel over the next couple of days. And then after that, I'm going to jump right into Enshrouded, and I'm going to go directly to a dungeon, and I'm going to do some progression on what's it called, Enshrouded. But in the background, I'm also thinking about a tycoon, and I figure one of the big things I want to be able to say is that I'm endlessly mega rich in EVE Online, because it is by far the most difficult economy I have ever experienced on any game. Now, it's not hard to get rich in EVE Online, because if you're willing to watch paint dry and occasionally re-wet the paint on the paintbrush, you can make endless income, and it is slow, and it's methodical, and it costs nothing from you except for some clicks and a little bit of paying attention, and maybe some deaths here and there, but nothing really, like maybe 1 death per 5 years or something like that. It really requires like basically no commitment at all. So, you know, but you can make steady income over your whole career, but breaking the fucking molds of what a solo player can do is, to me, the last bastion of a real skill ceiling left in any game. Now, there's hard games, but there's not high skill ceiling games. Maybe Tarkov, EVE Online, Rust to a lesser degree. I would say deep end Minecraft is sort of technical. I don't know. There's other games like this, like Valheim, Dual Universe, Star Citizen to a much lesser degree than even Dual Universe, and all this other stuff. And you know, and these are games that never really end. And so when we propose to be this solo emperor is the vibe here that you're going to see me attempt to do over the next 3 years. You will see me become a solo emperor in Eve. And so I admit, there's one lie that I've told on this channel that I guess I will admit to now. I'm not a liar, but I have lied on this channel once before in saying that I have personal empires in every single game that I play. And while I do have a personal empire in EVE Online, and if you don't believe me, I can show you this here. I literally can show you the assets spanning across space. You can see it here, and the total like value of both my accounts right now is like 14 billion or something. That is not a personal empire, but one day it will be in like 3 years. And so, but it's the only game short, and I don't have a personal empire in ESO or Final Fantasy 14, but I did get rich, and I do have a lot. And I would say I don't need other people in ESO or Final Fantasy 14. After the materia market, I was completely done with Final Fantasy 14. I broke the bank. And on ESO, it never really ends. You can just keep breaking down the armor over and over and over and over and over again, like Fallout 76. It never really ends. The same way I don't have a personal empire on 76. I just have, 3 or 4 years of loot, And so I'll say these things on stream, which to me is like a personal goal, and I'll lie to the public and I'll be like, I've got a personal empire on every single game that I play. I am an MMO god or something like that, right? But it's just not true. Not on this game. I have a lot of stuff in this game, but I don't have a personal fucking empire. And I don't know what personal empire means to me, but I know what I've always qualified it as on other games, which I have reached, which is there's nothing on the auction house that I can't afford, but there is absolutely things on the auction house in EVE Online that I cannot afford. Now, EVE Online is a money sim and a sim. And it's like a submarine and money sim, and I didn't know how much I liked that kind of gameplay until I was bit by the bug, but I do, and I wish to be a tycoon. So now I will show you guys how I intend to, in the space of, now I've been playing EVE Online for 11 years, but I've never ever gotten anything like a personal empire, not even close. But I will now, and I will do it in 3 years, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is I'm going to do. I have a whole plan for it, and it's excellent content for the stream. I should technically be in the EVE channel right now, because I am talking about EVE stuff, and I'm not really playing Enshrouded. So I could pop channels to EVE, but I mean, I don't care. I frankly don't care. Oh, and also I forgot to run my tablet monitor and my other monitors as well. Sorry, I'm just gonna run that. Yep, I don't like not being able to see my face. It makes me nervous. So, and then, looks good. And then we're gonna come to this, and we're gonna say watch now, and we're gonna mute and run. Yep, and run lower. Looking good. And we're gonna come here. We're gonna refresh, and we're gonna embed YouTube. Embedding YouTube. By the way, I'm gonna mute and drop to mini player, and then we're gonna look at statistics here today. I've been looking at top 100 PC Metacritic of all time now every day, and we'll just watch what happens with that. We see Power World took the world by storm, and apparently the Counter-Strike crowd is even playing it. Must be a good game. I liked Craftopia, so I know this is a good game. But so we see the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth hit like today, and it's up. And Tekken 8 hit today, and it's up. Counter-Strike 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Under Night, Inber 2, Sis Cellas, whatever that is, and I don't even know, but yeah, we got like some top nice sellers right now. And Enshrouded sitting number 2. Power World and Enshrouded are up there banging heads. I'm an Enshrouded guy. I will not be purchasing Power World. I'm sitting Enshrouded. They're about the same price, really. So I mean, I could buy Power World, but I have no interest in it. And I saw today Asmongold went on record saying that he thought that Power World was a Pokemon ripoff, and that it was true. And I tend to follow the same. Now, now we look at top sellers, but we're also looking at Steam Game and Player statistics now for 100 most played, and we're just gonna see what it is real quick at the beginning of the fucking stream, just so I keep my eyes on that stuff if I can. War Thunder, Team Fortress 2, Lethal Company, Warframe, DayZ, Lost Ark, The Finals, Euro Truck Simulator, Rainbow Six Siege, EA Sports, skipped over a few, but not really, I really like, got it all. It's the same usual suspects, nothing creeping up. Hearts of Iron must be really good because it's been up there for a while and a lot of people are playing this. It must be where the RTS people are right now. Hearts of Iron 4 might be really good. But I don't know. And then Unturned is still sitting pretty steady. I like Unturned. I like Unturned actually, but I don't think it's my game. It's hard. It's a kid's game. Valheim is still sitting pretty well, and that's another game that I could be playing right now. I thought, why play this game when I have so much to do in Valheim? But I like Enshrouded. I like it a lot. And so now we're going to move on. We looked at Steam Game and Player Statistics. Now I'm going to do my Orca spiel. And so here's me talking about an EVE Online ship called the Orca. And I'm terribly sorry, guys. I forgot that I turned off the heat earlier. When I was airing, I deep cleaned my house today, and I left the heater off, and it is cold in here. Okay. So the Orca is a mining support ship classified as an industrial command ship. The industrial command ship, 8x 55 million ISK skill, is required to fly it. Note that even though it is listed under capital industrial ships in the EVE market, it does not require the capital industrial ship skill, nor is it considered a capital ship. It is a much smaller ship than a capital ship, but it is in the capital classes technically in terms of how big it is. It has the size of a... It is just massive. Now, traits and utility, right? And it has a whole skill requirement thing, which we're going to come back to in a minute. Cargo space. Possibly the biggest selling points of the Orca, think whale, is the huge amounts of cargo space, think big belly, that is supports for a ship that only costs around 1.8 billion ISK. The ship has 4 different areas for storage. It has a cargo hold. The Orca's base cargo hold is 30,000 M3, which can be expanded through modules and rigs. The cargo hold also receives an additional 5% bonus to size for each level of the industrial command ships. That is a skill set called the industrial command ships. I will go into this later. Maxed out for hauling, an Orca can fit over 90,000 M3 in its cargo hold. This is the only hold on the ship that receives bonuses from modules and rigs. Mining hold. As its name suggests, the mining hold can contain only mined materials, unrefined ore, ice, and gas. Attempting to move modules or anything else into the mining hold will result in an error message. The mining hold receives a 5% bonus to size for each level of the industrial command ships added to its base, 150,000 M3. So think of it as the Mackinac that I've been running has 40,000 M3. This thing has 4 times that size. It's four times the size of the mining hold. So not only does it provide boosts, but it also is its own personal fleet hangar bank. Essentially, it's like a mobile G bank. And it's got a fleet hangar that holds 40,000 M3 and you can put ships inside of it. It's a mothership. Think not like Death Star, but much smaller than that. Think like a Star Destroyer. And can be made available to other fleet members or members of the Pilots Corporation for access in space. This is very useful for supporting mining operations, as mining fleet mates can then use the fleet hangar to store mined ore or ice. So it's not only is it also and I'm going to show this to non-EVE players just so they understand how cool the game can really get in terms of its scope. And it's also its own hangar. It's also a station. It is kind of like the Death Star. It's a space station. The Orca pilot can then move that, but I mean, it's a ship too. It can move around, but it's extremely slow. The Orca pilot can then move that ore or ice to the mining hold or cargo hold, or leave it in the fleet hangar as space permits. The ship has a maintenance bay. This bay holds 400,000 Dem-3, which is insane. That's like the size of a battleship. It can hold a battleship inside of its maintenance bay because it's like basically Battlestar Galactica. It's like its own Battlestar essentially. It's like a Battlestar. That's actually a pretty good. It's like pretty good definition of the Orca. Now the Orca looks like a big flat tapeworm. And you can see this reflected here. We can show you what the Orca looks like. I'll give you an in-game representation of what the Orca looks like, and we'll also play a video today when I start playing Enshrouded here. But I did want to talk about EVE Online here for just a bit because it is subject matter that is near and dear to me, and I care about this stuff. We come back and we see that the Orca is a ship. We're going to pull the info on it. And there is the 3D representation of the preview, and I have 2 Orca skins for some reason, which is good. I bought the Glacial Drift one for some reason, and I bought the Radioactive Reclamation, which is also dope. That I guess, yeah. That I do. I have a Radioactive Reclamation. That's cool. So I'm gonna have a green Orca. Look at that. So this is the green Orca. The graphics don't look so good because I'm multi-playing games. Mainly the reflections. I think the reflections would be good to have. This is the Orca. See it? It is quite literally a Star Destroyer, I would say. It has no weapons. It has no armaments. You can't put guns on this thing. It's not meant for war. It is a troop transport. It can move. It can literally, ships can dock up inside of it. And I'm going to up my game a little bit. I mean, it's a miner's goal that I'm after here, a PvE Care Bear goal, which isn't like me, but I mean, I don't see why I can't do this. I can, especially with the corp that I just joined. And so this is the ship in question that we are talking about. And notice how cool this is. It's kind of like model train shit, you know? The game has a very good model system in it. There's lots and lots of models. And we can look at different skins on it just to show you kind of what it is that I'm going to be doing here. Angel Industrial Livery. Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Blood Raider Industrial. Yeah, pretty cool. Caldari Industrial Livery, Capsuleer Day. I should have this one, but I didn't get it, I guess. I thought I had got this one, but I don't have that one. I don't know what the price would be on it, but it's going to be astronomical. This, yeah, I don't have that one, which is unfortunate. I don't have this one. I don't have that one. Yep, it's all the same ship, but it's, you know, these are the skins. There's the coolest skin, I'd say, you know. The Load Strike. That's the one that I probably would like to buy. See if there's any prices for that up. I doubt it. But yeah. So, yep. And that's cool. I want the Load Strike because the red line on it looks really fucking cool. And it definitely stands out more than all the other ones. But it's probably the most expensive skin, I'd have to guess. If it looks different at all. There's another probably really expensive. Now, you can buy this in the New Eden store. Probably for like $5, or I don't know. What's it cost? It costs 110 plex, which is like $10. Yeah, it's like a $10 skin. But boy, it looks cool, doesn't it? I might buy it one day. I don't know. I could buy it right now, but I don't want to. Rosada Dawn. Sancha Industrial Livery. That's my favorite one. And I bet it's cheap too. So we'll probably buy that. I like the yellow with the green. It's good. Or I don't know. I have a one that stands out a lot more, the Radioactive Reclamation, which is cool. It really makes the Orca fucking stand out, you know? So, yeah, we'll probably run that. And I have this one, so I don't have to worry about buying other Orca skins, but I guess I might, though. Well, now, I won't be flying the Orca on this character, so it doesn't matter what Orca skins this character has. The other character is going to be buying the Orca skins. So, next, we go on further. The Orca has a fleet hangar. The fleet hangar holds 40,000 M3, which is not that big, but that's packaged, is like a battleship, and can be made available to other fleet members or members of the Pilots Corporation for access in space. So one of the interesting things that the Orca can do is it can open up in a system. It can stage frigates out of it, and they can PvP. and the orca can remain cloaked, and unless somebody combat scans it down, warps to it and bumps it to break it out of stealth, you would never know where it was. And that could happen. Somebody could scan down the orca. That is entirely possible, but it's unlikely. So one of the interesting things that the orca can do is as a staging device, it's a really beautiful thing. Think in Rust, the equivalent, Rust is just EVE Online. I'm talking about my own scrap heli. The orca is like a scrap heli. You can fit as many people as you can stuff inside it, essentially. You can put many guns in it. You can put a lot of stuff in it, and it provides boosts in the respect that it keeps you safe, and it compresses all of your. It's got its own recycler, essentially, so you can just farm loot out in the wild and just run the recycler. Imagine if like there was you had a garbage truck that you drove to a monument and then you recycled it. I mean, the monuments all have recyclers, so it's really the same thing. So but anyways, yeah, it's kind of like that. And the fleet hangar holds 40,000 M3 and can be made available to other fleet members or members of the Pilots Corporation for access in space. This is very useful for supporting mining operations, as mining fleet mates can then use the fleet hangar to store mined ore or ice, right? And so this doubles for me not only as a booster, but it's also a G-Bank sized hold, so I can stay at the belt for like 4 hours and just keep dumping money into the orca's stomach. It gets in my belly, right? Like fat bastard. The orca pilot can then move that ore or ice to the mining hold or cargo hold, or leave it in the fleet hangar as space permits. So it has 40,000 M3, which can hold ice. It's got 150,000 cargo hold. So it's got a 1.9 million M3. I currently have 40,000. It is literally 20 times the space that I can currently hold, and so there's a lot less trips back and forth from the station. And if I stay close to where we live, I'm probably okay. And so and it's ship maintenance. It also has a ship maintenance bay that's got 400,000 M3 and can only contain assembled ships. And so on top of it, inside of the orca, I can put an assembled catalyst in there, right? With high damage. And if anybody tries to gank my orca, I can just scramble my own ship out of the orca. And I can blow up the. I mean, they're probably gonna kill me first, maybe. But I mean, if it's like a 7-man gank, but if it's one person, right? If it's one fucking person, the likelihood of them being able to blow up my orca before I can scramble my destroyer and do two things, right? The first thing that I do is I dump all of that loot into the belly, the orca's loot, into the belly of my Machina. If they aren't killing my Machina, they might pop the Machina, right? But if they don't pop, they'll go for the orca because it's a much higher target, right? So, but this is interesting because I can scramble my own. I can scramble my own combat ship right there at the points of the combat. I don't have to fucking like de-dock a ship and get it warped to the fight. I can just scramble a destroyer or higher, probably higher. Probably fucking higher, I would say. I will scramble. Well, no. All I need is really burst damage, really fucking fast. So, and this is all the way up to battleships. So I will put a high burst rupture in there that'll pull, or something. I don't know. I'll pull something higher. I'll put expensive faction catalyst in there and use the same weapon that they use to gank the orca will be the defensive tool that I use on them. And I will pop out because you have some time. You have about 2 minutes before you die in a ship with this kind of armor. You have about 2 minutes before you die. Well, like a little bit less. It's probably more like 45 seconds or something like that. But in that time, I can alt tab to the orca. I can scramble the fucking destroyer. I can target the guy and I can pop him if it's a single ganker, I can pop him before he's likely to get the KB. I really am. I'm likely to do it. If I pop a catalyst ganker, the same exact shit that he's using to try and pop me, I will pop him. And he'll either have to turn the guns on me, which won't work. It's going to be a draw at that point. Well, it'll be a draw. He'll have to fight me. I'll pop that destroyer, and I'll pop the catalyst on him, and he'll have to pop me before I can pop him. Before he can pop me. And by that point, at that point, I doubt it. I bet I have more skill points. Maybe it comes down to it. It's unlikely. By the time that he kills me, it gets back on the Orca, Concord will have arrived and killed him. Takes Concord about 30 to 45 seconds to arrive if they're the farthest that they can possibly be in the anomaly, which just isn't the case. The anomaly is easy for them to get to. So it's like 30 seconds max, probably 40 seconds max, right? So it's going to take him 45 seconds to pop the Orca. It's maybe less. It's like 25 seconds or something like that. If I respond inside of 10 seconds, pop a fucking catalyst and destroy his catalyst in a lot less time that's going to take him to destroy my Orca, we get down to this finely played game of chess where I'm ready to respond to him trying to kill me. Right there and then and there, I pop something out of my belly that is the same combat ship that he's using to try to kill me with the same kind of burst, except he's only a destroyer. I'm in a fucking like a sub-capital ship that has some armor and shield and stuff. He has nothing. He's only geared up for killing things, so he's got a paper thin tank. All I have to do is aim my catalyst at him and he's gonna die because he's designed to destroy things. That's it. He's not designed to take a hit. So if I get on him, he'll probably die. I can't see how he could kill my Orca fast enough before I can kill his catalyst with my catalyst. And that's how I stop the solo gank. If a 7-man gank comes, it's unlikely to be me because I have no corp affiliations. It's unlikely to happen in Shenown because I haven't seen it happen in the last 5 weeks. If it didn't happen in the last 5 weeks, I don't know why it would happen in the next 5 months, really. It's so slow there. And it's just unlikely. Now there was a pilot who was paranoid about a 7-man gank in Shenown. And then that's okay. I don't care if I lose the Orca, right? Because inside of 5 days, it's just, so let's say a gank comes every 5 months. And that's probably maybe the most it would ever be. I might have some bad luck with this. It might happen. They might see a new Orca on the block. And they're like, oh man, he's standing out there in his motherfucking Kangol hat with his expensive ass clothes and his fucking diamond 2 chains and shit. And he's standing on that corner. We can just bang him, right? That's what it's like to roll an Orca to a belt. It's expensive. It's a sub-capital ship. It's not that expensive, but it's expensive. It's $25 cash, right? So people want to take that $25 cash from you, but the difference is they only get to walk with about $7, and they also they may not even get the gank. So it's like kind of a bad premise for them to gank me, but it does happen. It has happened before. It might happen again. So let's say I lose an Orca, right? Worst case scenario, I hand over five days. No, I'm sorry. It's a little bit less than that. It's like, let's say you make 100 million a day. So after 3 weeks, I'll have paid for the Orca. So what do I do after the first 3 weeks of mining with the Orca? I'm going to pay for it. It'll be 2 accounts running. I'll pull about 100 million a day. I'm pulling about 60. So it'll be like 120, bit more with the boost. I'd say probably 130, 140 a day. So after 5 days, or I'm sorry, but after 7 days, we hit about, about 10, we hit about $1 billion. And after another 10 days or so, 7 days, another week, after about 2 weeks, I pay for the Orca. And it won't happen that fast. It'll happen right away. And if it doesn't happen right away, it won't happen at all. If it does happen, it'll happen 5 months later. And it's happened to me a lot. I've had big ganks from big ships before mining PvE. It does happen, but it's so rare. It's not something that you should count on, and it's not something that's very common, and it's not something I would worry about that much. So, and on top of it, I can go toe-to-toe and bump the titties with the motherfucker, and I'm going to do it upright. I'm going to pop a catalyst. I'm going to pop drugs and with the booster in. right? And I'm gonna pop drugs, and I'm gonna run like a tier 4 drug, and I'm gonna kill his catalyst. I'm gonna go, okay, here's me targeting you, here's me popping the drugs, target up, okay, there's the target, tackle, waste, right? And I'm gonna pop the fucking tier 4 pyrolancia or whatever it is for fucking catalyst. I believe it is a pyro. I'll pop the tier 4 pyro, which is like a $30 million drug, 30 million drug, and I'll pop the pyro and I'll kill his ass. He just won't be able to do it. He will not be able to kill my orca before my catalyst counter ganks him. That erases solo off the board. It just erases it off the board. I'd like to see them try. A lot of people aren't good enough to do it. I am good enough to do it, and I've done it before. This kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? I am good enough to do it. I have lived in nullsec. I have killed people in EVE. I am not some fucking scrub. But the people like to act like I am. I am not. I have some kill board. You know, I do have some kill board. So, and I've been doing this for like 13 years. I'm not a scrub. I'm not that bad at this. So, you know, I really have a lot of confidence in stopping a catalyst gank if it's a solo gank. If it's a 7-man gank, you can't stop it. And if it's organized, you can't stop it. Now, if that happens, after 3 weeks of mining, I'm going to buy another orca, and I'm just going to sit it in the same fucking station. And the next day, I'm going to be out there with the second orca, going again, right? And the chances of a 7-man gang coming again, this is either really, really high the second day. If they see me again, they might come again. At which point, I leave and go somewhere else. I join another corp with better protection or something, right? But that's the worst socially that could go. If you put a big fucking G-Bank out on the map, you're likely to get robbed. But see, the difference is, after 3 weeks... I mean, how long have I been mining now? 4 months or something on my stream every day for 14 hours or something like that, right? After 2 weeks, I can afford an orca. After another 2 weeks, I can afford another orca. After another 2 weeks, I can afford another orca. After 2 months, I'm not too worried about losing orcas, right? I'm just not too worried. I've got so much money sitting there just waiting for a rainy day that I'm not worried, you know? And so now, we got past the ship maintenance bay, and this is an important thing to understand. It's got a 400,000 M3 ship maintenance bay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out the Povertila, which is a ship with 50,000 M3 and 570 DPS or something like that. And it just pops the drones, gets on you, and erases you. It just has that damage to just fucking erase you. And I'll stick a Gila inside of this fucking orca, right? And on top of it, right, there's all these other nasty things. I pop the Gila out, I counter the fucking gank, and on top of it, even if he does manage to pop the orca, God forbid, if he manages to pop the orca, my Gila is sitting there ready to fucking stop anybody trying to touch that loot at all. Which is the majority of the loss. So now I lose like a bill on that. But if I can loot my own corpse with the Gila that I spawn out of the belly of the orca, right? I can absolutely counter the gank, and if I can't manage that, I can absolutely probably prevent them from looting the corpse. I don't know about that. They will not be able to loot the corpse. If they do, the Concord will kill them, and I'll just loot their corpse. I'll have kill rights to that corpse. They have no kill rights on the Gila, and they'll never be able to kill the Gila. They'll never be able to do that. Not with that ship. No, not with the... I mean, they might, but I mean, I don't know. So, notice that I started playing a chess game in my mind with invisible opponents about what it is that I'm investing in, what it is I'm trying to do, how I do it, what my tactics are to defend myself, the daydreaming that I'm doing to talk about the fucking strategy of it, all the stuff that a good player has in other games, I will do for stuff like EVE Online because it is a big boy game. Most of those other games aren't. I would say Rust is not. Rust is like mini EVE. It's like mini EVE. It plays out so quick, you know. So, ship in a fleet hangar can only contain ammunition and charges. That's it. Attempting to load assemble ships with other items in their cargo holds, such as ore or modules, will result in an error message. But a Gila is fine. Gilas are light. They're only like 180,000 or something like that. And I'm just going to pop it out. I'm going to pop the drones, and I'm going to lay up the drugs, and I'm going to fucking rapid light missile launcher the motherfucker for 570 DPS and erase them off the board, and it'll be 5 seconds. Like 5 seconds. Once I turn the drones on, he's dead in 5 seconds. He'll be standing right next to me. I'll just stick the drones on him. It like when out of the belly of the beast that you're trying to slay spawns like a fucking white knight on a horse with a javelin and a full heavy plate armor, right? And I know you're trying to slay the Goliath, but out of Goliath's belly pops the white knight. The veritable white knight, and the white knight's there to stop you. It's the Gila with the drones, and so the Gila and the drones come out of the belly, and they stop you. And that's what I will do. To allow access to the ship maintenance bay, the Orca pilot must set access for fleet members or corporation members or both. If a fleet member wants to switch ships in space, they can open the ship maintenance bay, right-click the ship they want to use, and choose either board ship from bay or launch ship from bay. The board option is safer. It stores the pilot's current ship in the bay and puts them in the new one in space. It's only available if there's enough room in the bay to store the new minus the old ship. One of the funny things about this is, if I hop out of the Orca, they can hop in it, right? So that's an interesting thing. If they hop out of the Orca, they can hop in it, and then I've lost it. But that's a whole nother thing, right? I believe that's what I would do. He's either gotta leave the ship. It won't happen. I'll pop him first. The Gila will pop him first. It'll just happen. The Gila will pop him first. So it's like so the only reason I'm so worried about this is now tactically in my mind something that I was never willing to do before, was just put an asset like that out on the field by myself. I am willing to do it now, not because I have more money or I'm more successful or more smart and have more skill points and more likelihood to do it or any of that. I'm more professional, more adult, and I'm 40 and I'm smart and I know how to not fuck up, you know. It's not that. It's that like the Orca itself is a mini game. You can play it like the Death Star, and inside of the Death Star is Darth Vader with his best fleet ship, you know. And you can spawn Darth Vader yourself. You know, you are essentially Darth Vader in that Death Star situation. And so let's say Luke Skywalker comes to blow up your Death Star, right? I'm saying I can pop out in a Gila and I can stop Luke Skywalker from stealing my Death Star. But the problem is, if I undock in the Death Star and I'm soloing, captaining the Death Star and letting the AI and the computer run all the other stuff, right? And I don't have any friends there. If I hop into Darth Vader's ship, Darth Vader's TIE fighter, right? And this is what my Gila is like, too. My Gila will fuck you up. It's like this, right? It's the specialized TIE fighter. There it is in Lego, right? Like Darth Vader's specialized TIE fighter, right? So my thing is you can try and blow up my Death Star while I'm there if it's a solo versus a solo. If Luke Skywalker shows up solo to blow my fat-ass Tycoon Death Star out of the sky, I can pop into my Darth Vader ship that outguns him 10 times and out armors him 10 times, and I can now specialize him right there at the engagement at the porthole where he's got to fire the missile into the Death Star, right? I can do this. Now the problem is, if I hop into the TIE fighter, I'm no longer piloting the Death Star, and one of the problems with EVE Online is it's a lot like a car. If you get out of the car, anybody can get in the car and drive it away. So then the worst scenario is if I pop into the Gila to try to defend the person popping the Orca. If they realize that I have popped out of the Orca with a Gila to defend the Orca, they might hop out of their fucking Ganker Catalyst and fly in their fucking in their pod to my Orca and hop in my Orca. And therein lies the rub. I'd still rather have that kind of content on my stream and clip it and say, this is the greatest fight I've ever had in EVE, right? And say, oh, well, it was good content for the stream and it cost me $20. I don't care or whatever, right? That's all it costs. If they pop the Orca, it costs me $20. It's not the end of the world. I'm not gonna cry. It's like, oh, I lost my cell phone burner or something. It's not. I'm not gonna cry. It's not something that I'm gonna cry home to mama about. It's like, oh, I lost a crappy used game or something. It's, you know. So, so the worst case scenario is I can see, and so I think chess game, right? Before I buy the Orca, before I buy the $50 pack for Eve, I think, which I bought today, I bought it, and I did this because I was like, well, if it comes down to the chess game, I can fight him with the Gila. If he gets out of his ship and takes my Orca, I will kill the Orca with the Gila, and that'll be funny. And, you know, it's funny. He can't. He'll probably be able to warp out. Frankly, I don't know. It's sort of funny. It's all a crazy game. Like, so if I leave the Orca to get in the Gila and I hop out of the Orca with the Gila, and I defend the Orca with the Gila, he can hop out of the Catalyst and get into my Orca. The funny part about that is I can hop out of the Gila and go hop into his Catalyst, and I can tackle the Orca, and I can kill the Orca, which is so crazy. You understand it? It's like a boarding party on a boarding party on a boarding party on a boarding party. And this is how ship naval combat works. If you don't think about it, you will get into a master and commander situation out there on the high seas with the French commander who isn't actually a scrub. Who did hop out of the Catalyst and attempted to steal your Orca, who is now Jack Sparrowing away with your Orca, so now you've got to Jack Sparrow his Black Pearl, take the Black Pearl, board the fucking your original ship that you were originally on. So you board his man of war. And this is why EvE piracy is so interesting. It's actually cool. Like Carl Donuts and well, no, Carl Donuts isn't cool. I'm talking about like the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack was cool, you know. And so not that what they did was cool, just that how they executed it was cool. It's good. It's good battle tactics, you know. And so, fuck the Nazis, though. Don't get me twisted here. Fuck the Nazis. I don't like Nazis. Fuck them and their stupid fucking shitty asses, you know? So, see, I knew I had good content for EvE, and I know I can entertain with this, so I'm gonna do it, right? So, I go back to the Black Pearl, which is a man of war that's far more fleet and far more fast than the original big fucking freighter that I'm sailing in originally. I got a big freighter full of silk, right? And I'm buying a freighter right now. The Orca is like buying a freighter full of silk. It's designed to fill itself with silk and sail the seven seas, like, and that's what I'm gonna do with it, right? But if Jack Sparrow comes on a solo tip and he rows in on a rowboat because he knows that he rows in with a rowboat and he C4s a hole in the side of my ship and sinks it, it takes whatever silk he can fit in his rowboat, right? Because what does he care? A rowboat full of silk is still a lot better than a rowboat without a lot of silk. I mean, which is also a really pirate thing that a lot of people don't understand about piracy. A rowboat might be a rowboat compared to a fucking freighter or like a man of war or like a frigate, right? Or even like a higher class ship like a fucking like a carrier or a destroyer or something like that, right? But a man rowing up in a rowboat with an empty rowboat who rows away with a rowboat of silk but still sank your man of war is a rowboat with a rowboat full of silk that wasn't a rowboat full of silk before. So, you know, and the rowboat full of silk. And so that's EvE is rowing up in a rowboat, blowing C4 or a shotgun into the side of the hull, like a real pirate would, sinking the motherfucker and taking whatever you can fit in the rowboat. Which is usually the captain's chest with the best loot and gold and doubloons or whatever, right? Often treasure doesn't weigh much. It's kind of funny. You can often fit the captain's chest on your fucking rowboat. This is a really funny thing about pirates that pirates don't want you to know. But in the end, most of the time, the real value on the ship is often in the size of something that's like the size of a safe or a briefcase. And so when you rob a ship, often all you need to get away is a rowboat. Which is kind of funny. A lot of people think you got to show up in a Battlestar or a fucking, you know, a destroyer or something like that. But no, you can rowboat up like if you're a smooth pimp like motherfucking, you know, like motherfucking Captain Jack Sparrow. You row up in a rowboat. You don't show up in the Black Pearl like a scrub. You park the Black Pearl at the bay nearby, at the Pirates Bay Booty Bay. you rowboat in with you and John Jackoff or whatever his fucking right hand man is in that stupid story, and like and then you rowboat in, you stick a shotgun in the French like effeminate captain's face, and you say, "I'll blow your fucking head off if you don't give me your fucking chest full of gold doubloons or whatever," and then you rowboat out, right? That way, you know, and you bind up everybody on the fucking crew. They can't do anything while they're trying to free themselves from the ropes, and they're like sliding around on the floor, and they're trying to finger each other's rope knots to try to get out of the ropes before they die of deprivation or whatever, which gives you some time to rowboat away with the fucking pirate's booty chest full of gold. And this is how a smart captain does things. An idiot captain goes in guns blazing, figuring he'll put a hole in the boat and maybe he'll get loot before it sinks, right? That's not how a smart pirate thinks. A smart pirate thinks, if I just have to invest a rowboat to rob the guy, why can't I just park my Black Pearl in the Booty Bay nearby, take a rowboat to the engagement, stick a pirate in the effeminate captain's face, stick a pirate gun in the effeminate enemy captain's face, take his shit and take that chest and rowboat away. And so my problem is this guy shows up in not a rowboat, but if he wants to sink an orca, he's going to show up in a frigate. He's going to show up in a boat. What does a naval frigate look like, right? I'll show you. This is what does a naval frigate look like? So this is a frigate. It's a ship. It's got guns. It's got a patrol force. It's got it's got 100 men or something. It's got mounted guns and cannons and choppers and shit. This is a U.S. Navy guided missile frigate, right? This is what they look like. They're not that big though. When you look at what does a freighter look like? What does a naval freighter look like? And you understand the difference, right? So I want to look at images here. So trying to give you a scope. So this ship, the Orca, is this ship, right? It's a huge, massive ship with no guns. There might be crew, but there's no guns. There's guns for the crew, but there's no mounted guns on this thing. That would make it way too heavy. You're trying to move cargo, so all you have is garage door bays. See it? Garage door bays and a huge big block on the top and a big rectangular block on the bottom. See a big block on top, rectangular block on bottom, and you've got the people think people think I didn't score high on the SAT and stuff, but yeah, I can probably build a fucking freighter. It sucks, but I have a good brain. It's so annoying. Cargo ships is missile carriers, right? But anyways, So, Captain Jack Sparrow wants to sink my freighter. Now, he could show up in something like this, but the problem is the cops will come and sink this before he actually sinks my freighter. And there's a whole element of can you get the freighter out without sinking it, which is really hard to do. So it's whatever. It is what it is. So in this orca, crazy man fucking metaphor that I'm spinning here, I'm telling a EvE tale. So I'm out in the freighter in the ocean alone, right? I don't have a crew on the deck. I've got AI running the entire ship. I've got nothing but me and the robots, right? And all the money goes to me. The robots don't get none. Fuck AI. No, AI don't get paid. They're serfs, right? So I'm making all the money. But the problem is I'm out here alone. And anybody with a fucking brain can see that I'm out here alone. I might even have another mining ship. I'm sorry. I might even have another fishing boat that's AI controlled, that's just as big as this ship, that's putting, and this is how EVE Online is. My big fishing ship is filling my storage ship with fish. Or whatever, silk or all the opium in the world, hopefully, right? Opium is the best example. Hopefully your ship is buying, your big merchant ship is buying up all the opium in the South China Seas, and is filling your big freighter with opium and taking it to Britain so all the rich dandies can smoke their opium and bust us for drugs, right? And so this is this is the equivalent of that in EVE would be the Orca and the Mackinac, which is a ship that I'm currently mining with, and which you've been seeing for weeks, and then this ship, which is the Booster and the G-Bank. And I'm going to sit there and without even having to go back to station to bank the loot, I'm just going to stuff this motherfucker with 10 times the amount of materials I've been pulling every single day. Now, this attracts attention. When they see that you're making this kind of money, they come and they break your Orca. But see, the difference is they can do so with a 7-man or even like a 4-man, but they probably can't do that with a 1 to 2 man without me getting most of the loot of the freighter, the original freighter, out, right? Like a quarter of the loot out before that guy can even steal it. And so they can't take the loot off of the ship. That's not how EVE Online works. Unless you abandon the ship, which is something that never ever happens in EVE Online, you always go down with the ship. Captains go down with the ship, right? So either the ship goes down, which is what most commonly happens with piracy, but if that doesn't happen, they've got to either take her, bleed her, or take her as a prize or whatever, or kill you, or like get your people to mutiny you or get you out of there or whatever, and then take your ship from you and then sail it to port and take the loot off of it. EVE is the exact same way. You can't just get a captain to lead the captain's quarters. In EVE Online, one could assume that it's the future and he's up in there electromagnetic, and this is how like real captain's quarters are too. He's up there on like in a pleasure yacht, and the captain's quarters is magnetically sealed and is guarded by bots and robots and sentry guns, and it's got like mounted crew and mounted not mounted guns, but it's got crew with pistols and all this. And the likelihood of you getting the captain to leave the ship so that you can sail the ship away with the fucking loot is basically zero. What you have to do in piracy is blow a hole in the ship and get the captain to abandon ship, go and board the ship, find the captain's chest, fill the Black Pearl with the chest, or hopefully the rowboat, because the rowboat doesn't cost any money. The Black Pearl does, right? So hopefully you go there. And this is the Somali pirates. This is what the Somali pirates do. Somali pirates have been doing Somali piracy forever, and I'm not saying Somali piracy is good. I'm just saying that Somali piracy is an example of piracy. So, Somali pirates sailing up, right? It looks like this. Somali pirates aren't stupid. If they're Somali pirates, they're going to get a lot of money occasionally. And they're going to think about maybe taking an Apache helicopter out there to the fucking boat and shooting up the guys on the fucking on the fucking bow and like taking the captain by force, But instead they show up in essentially what is the equivalent of pirate rowboats. And this is what it looks like when they approach. Because no pirate worth their salt is living a reality like Pirates of the Caribbean. You don't sail the Black Pearl. Ideally, you don't sail the Black Pearl because to your battle engagement, because you live on the Black Pearl. That's like sailing your house to a battle and then hoping that your house doesn't sink in the ocean, which it most likely inevitably will. So you don't want to bring the Black Pearl to the engagement. This is, you don't bring the Black Pearl to the engagement, which is probably what this guy's probably going to see. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Real Somali pirates row and come up in rowboats because they're not fucking stupid. Rowboats don't cost anything. If you're a pirate, your whole life is about taking trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, right? They don't want to take some Black Pearl ship to lose to the authorities or dear God, like the pussy ass captain who's the pussy ass Care Bear fucking captain, right? You don't want to lose to the Care Bear Captain, of course, but who you really don't want to lose to is Concord, the World Police. You know, you don't want to lose to the World Police or the Space Police. The Concord will sink you or kill you and take your ship as a prize and declare you a non-entity and declare you, you know, non-legal and that you can't have a lawyer or anything like that because you're out on the international waters where there is no lawyers. So pirates have a hard life, you know. There's no lawyers for pirates. There's no lawyers on the high seas. So most criminals, they can go fall back on a lawyer if they get caught. Pirates don't have lawyers, right? So smart pirates don't show up like idiot-ass Jack Sparrow trying to sink you with cannons across your bow. They show up in rowboats at night when it's really quiet, and they stealth approach your ship and they take your deck, and then they tell you that you can't leave and you're just going to starve to death or get scurvy if you don't, like, just give us the ship now, and we'll allow you to sail away on the rowboat that we came in on, but we're taking your ship, right? That's how a real pirate does things. This is something about piracy that a lot of idiots just don't understand, I would say, is they all think it's like Master and Commander when they're like firing cannons at each other. Yeah, that's how naval engagements work. That is not how piracy works. Piracy is like rowboat up and scare the shit out of them, like your bark's scarier than your bite, and take their shit and loot her as a prize. And here's the Somali pirates doing it. I'm not trying to glorify it. I'm just saying the Somali pirates, not only are they poor, they're also not stupid. So they're not taking the Black Pearl to go get busted by the Interpol, you know? They're not going to lose the Black Pearl to the Interpol. And so that's this whole thing. So to get back to the EVE Online pirate thing, if a pirate shows up and tries to sink my freighter, which looks like this, right? In their frigate, which looks like this, it's a much smaller ship. See, it can only really fit like a helicopter on the back bow. It's not that big. You can walk from the front to the back in probably 50 seconds or something, you know. It's a big ship, but it's not that big. It's like football field big. It's not football field big. It's like airplane big, not football field big. The freighter is football field big. See it? It's like football field big. You could basically put a football field on the top of this thing. It's really fucking big. It's like 4,000 feet long or something. It's fucking crazy. It's really fucking... I don't know much about ships. I don't know. But anyways, so we go back to the EVE equivalent of this. So let's say a solo pirate shows up in the Black Pearl. I will sink his Black Pearl with my own Black Pearl that I've got inside my belly. Right? Do you get what I'm saying? And that is the apt analogy that I've been trying to make. So now we're going to get back to the fucking story and finish the wiki, right? So the fitting service, besides being able to swap ships, the Orca has a fitting service, so it's also a station. It is literally a Death Star. You can dock there, and you can change the guns on your ships there. They have it's like literally a port of call. You can repair your ship there. You can do all the things that only a station can do. So I want my own Death Star, and I'm absolutely going to do that. And this is what the Death Star is going to look like when I buy it. And I'm going to buy my own Death Star in 4 months and 17 days, which is reflected here in the skill training path. Oh, sorry, I got to mute the sound. I turned oh no, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, I want to go to this one. Yep. So as you can see, I need 167 days, which is 4 months and 17 days. And so and we'll get through what else the Orca can do, which is like it's its own battle star. It's got tractor beam bonuses if you put a tractor beam on it, but I don't wish to. It's a very good survey scanner, and it's got command bursts. The Orca is capable of boosting fleets by using command bursts in its high slots. By default, it can equip and use 3 command bursts simultaneously, and this could be expanded to 5 command bursts with the use of 2 command burst processor rigs with 150 calibration each. For most mining operations, Orca pilots will want to bring all 3 mining form and command burst charges though some Orca pilots will forego the mining equipment preservation charge. Shield command bursts are not always necessary, particularly if the mining fleet is in higher security space. So in high security, we run boosts and we try to get our PvE money so we can make the ships that the PvPers burn like cell phone burners every single time they get in an engagement. And that is the Empire versus Empire space. It's the ammo and the hulls and the materials and the resources to run the world or Tranquility's military forces. And every time there's a piracy or an engagement in the free open world, essentially the empires sell the guns and sell the hulls that the ships are, and the ships, every time a ship is lost, it is replaced, and that is why we have commerce in EvE. So you can customize the burst being provided by a command burst module by changing the ammunition to charge. So it has charges. It's like the boost itself is like a script that the AI needs that burns like a literal AI card script, kind of like Bitcoin burns video cards and stuff. The burst module burns a script, and when the script is upped, it's like this crazy AI script that like forces a computer to calculate how to use the mining lasers in the most perfect way to get the most yield, but it's so expensive that it requires server hubs and mining scripts and crazy mining script stuff for these crazy server infrastructures on these crazy capital ships like Star Wars. And so so you have to have scripts to run the command burst, which can be used for stuff like defensive stuff like battles and shit like that, but most times the Orca is used for mining. So it'll do mining laser fields enhancement. You can customize the burst by being provided by command burst module by changing the ammunition. There's up to 3 different kinds. The charges for the mining form and command burst modules are included are the mining laser field enhancement, which increases range of mining lasers, strip miners, ice harvesters, gas harvesters, and survey scanners by 40%. So if your initial mining laser can only reach 15 kilometers, you don't have to move your mining ship, which takes time. You will now have 40% more of 15 kilometers, which is what, like another 3.5 or whatever on top of your 15. So you instead of 15, you have 18. If you have like 25, it's a lot more. It's like really crazy. So mining laser optimization, which is reduces cycle time, which is the big one. It's like your yield is 15% faster, right? And your mining equipment preservation reduces volatility in mining crystals. It's all Factorio stuff about mining. The Orca receives the following bonuses for each level trained in industrial command ships: 3% bonus to mining form and burst effect strength and duration, 1% bonus to shield command burst effect strength and duration. There is tank, which is given the massive hull tank of the Orca, adding a damage control tube, which adds uniform 60% resist to structure HP, and a reinforced bulkhead 2 module, increased structure hit points, will give the Orca a formidable tank. It's also basically a battleship. It has like a fucking metal hull. It will take some hits before it dies. It is not just some rotting big loot pinata in the sky that pops like a balloon. I mean, they're soft, but they're not like think Abrams tank. When you put enough damage on an Abrams tank, it'll blow up pretty fucking fast and melt, but it's still really thick, and that's the Orca. Adding a 500 mn compact micro warp drive for fitting purposes and a shield tank module will allow an Orca to easily achieve 200k plus EHP with the additional ability to align in 10 seconds. And so if you shield tank the Orca with nothing but mining boosts, right? You do mining laser enhancement. You do mining laser optimization, but you don't need to preserve your crystals. You don't need to worry about that. And you run tank instead, and so then your tank quadruples to 210,000, which is like 4 times the tank of a battleship. And these turn and burn catalyst gankers that are based around burst damage, they don't get you in the 35 seconds it takes for the cops to get there. In real life, it's 35 minutes. In EvE, it's 35 seconds. In 35 minutes, the cops show up and they murder whatever the murderer. If the murderer is trying to kill you, the cops show up and they kill the murderer. You know, that's what happens. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's why they have guns. Is the police's job is not to protect and serve ever. Don't ever get it twisted. Most idiots think that the cops are there to protect and serve because that's the lie that they print on the side of their pig choppers and their pig cars, right? But no, they're actually there to punish you, and they do this well, I would say. Whether they do it legally or not, they still punish you. They do. Their job is to punish you, and that's what they do. And they do it exceedingly well. Are cops good at their jobs, which is to punish you? Absolutely. Yeah. So, tank, given the massive hull tank of the Orca, adding a damage control too, makes you a 210,000 EHP tank. Most catalysts can only do about 75 to 90,000 in 30 seconds, right? So no matter what, he's only gotten halfway through your tank before the cops show up, the AI cops that don't miss, the town guard cops show up and kill his ass, right? So if I fit the Orca the right way, now this has never been possible, gentlemen and ladies. This is and whatever else the case is, this has never been possible before. I mean, it's been possible before, but not until 2018. And I didn't know it was possible until like 2021. And I didn't think it was very safe until 2023. Now, after testing it out for a year, I believe it is safe to run higher assets in high sec and expect to walk away from it. The Orca receives the following bonuses for each level trained in the industrial command ships. 3% bonus to mining foreman burst effect strength and duration. 1% bonus to shield command burst effect strength and duration. Now, some of this might be Greek to you, but it's just all it does is it upgrades the armor of the miners while they're at the belt with the Orca, and it also upgrades the effects of their mining lasers for yield. So it's like it upgrades your stone pickaxe or your metal pickaxe to a salvage pickaxe, and normally you would have to bring a salvage pickaxe, but if you can't afford a salvage pickaxe or don't have the skills to use a salvage pickaxe or haven't unlocked it in the blueprint chart, you can absolutely like take a booster who turns your metal pickaxe into a jackhammer. And mining equivalent, and that's essentially the rust equivalent to what I'm doing in EVE. I'm bringing a booster that turns my solo miner into a duo miner who has a jackhammer that runs all day, who doesn't have to run back to base. The base comes with them. And that's what the Orca is. It's a mobile base. Think tugboat. The Orca is a tugboat in rust equivalents. All Rust is EVE Online. There's no difference. Like the tugboat and everything that the tugboat does and how easy it is to sink a tugboat is absolutely true of the Orca. There is no difference between the Orca and the tugboat. They do the same exact things. They boost you. You can kit up inside. You can heal inside of it. You can go out the front door of it and you can kill the attacker. You can dump boxes and boxes and boxes of mining ore in there. You can put a tier 3 workbench in there and repair your tools. You can reset your tools so you can just jackhammer forever. Imagine if there was underwater mining. It'd be so cool. Underwater mining, right? The Orca receives the following bonuses for each level trained in the industrial command ships. 3% bonus to mining foreman burst effect strength and duration. 1% bonus to shield command burst effect strength and duration. Now this is where we first begin to talk about, and I taught a lot of EVE in my lifetime. I've been taught a lot of EVE, and I've taught a lot of EVE Online. This is an EVE Uni class that I am running, by the way, guys. There's been no delineation in the EVE universe. EVE University. This is a class that EVE University teaches its pilots with, and I am doing the same for you on my stream because I don't know much about the Orca, so I'm trying to learn about the Orca the same way that I'm sure you are when you're watching this silly fucking rant. So we begin to talk about the skill plans, which we looked at earlier, but we're going to drop back down the list. The basic skill requirements for an Orca, which looks like this. We're going to pop it here. We're going to pop an Orca, and we're going to look at the mastery of an Orca. There's 5 levels of ship mastery in EVE Online. Getting in the ship is mastery 1, which means that you can fly the ship, but that's about it. You can't even use the guns on it, probably. And so mastery 1 is not the like the best thing to be. You want to be higher. You probably want to be Mastery 3 if you're flying the ship at all. And so we will pull an auto link of the item type of an Orca ship. We will look at the show info, and I will do the RP of Orca. Oops. You know, this account is only going to be doing reading, basically, so I want to turn the user interface up to a really big size, because, yeah, like I don't want to struggle to read this stuff at all. Yep. See, so, well, I think that's too big. We'll do 125, I think. Yeah, 125 is good. So here we go. So we're going to do the description. The Orca was developed as a joint venture between Outer Ring Excavations and Deep Core Mining Inc. as a vessel to help meet the demands. Sorry, I got to check my audio here. To help meet the demands of New Eden's industry and provide a flexible platform from which mining operations can be more easily managed. Think a mining Death Star. It is not a Death Star, it is a mining star. The Orca is also capable of using a large industrial core to substantially increase its industrial capabilities while empowering its defenses during deployment in a static configuration. A key element of the industrial capacity unlocked by activating an industrial core is the... sorry, this has been cut off a little bit. I've got to fix the size of it. I apologize. Give me just a second here. There we go. The Orca was developed. The Orca is also capable of can be more easily managed. Excuse me. The Orca is also capable of using a large industrial core to substantially increase its industrial capabilities while empowering its defenses during deployment in a static configuration. A key element of the industrial capacity unlocked by activating an industrial core is the ability to use compressor modules, with the Orca having the flexibility to use a number of specified large compressors. So when you want to think of the Orca, think mobile recycler. And in Rust, you can't get your own recycler unless you're on modded servers. In EvE, you can get your own player-owned station. You can get your own recycler. You can even get a mobile recycler, because they don't want to limit you. They want to see what you can do with it. They want you to create a lifestyle out of it, and I'm gonna. The Orca uses much of the technology developed by Ore for the Rorqual and integrated with the latest advancements from Deep Core Mining Research Division, has developed a vessel which offers a diverse role to all sizes of operations and needs. And so Crowd Control Productions, CCP, thought that they would do a whale theme for the Fat Cat Tycoons that like this sort of ship, for the whales, right? Like people like me, they definitely wanted a whale ship, so they made one. And so all of the industrial command ships are essentially named after whales, and they kind of engage in whale tactics, like showing up in the deep ocean and just kind of languishing out there and allowing you to just use them as a storage platform, essentially. And that's what they are. And there's there's three of them. There's the Orca, which is the big fat one in the middle. There's the smaller tier one that's more specialized, called the Porpoise, and then there's the really big one called the Rorqual, which looks like this. And eventually I will graduate to a Rorqual, maybe. But I mean that's like that's when Rorqual is where the tycoons go to die. That's when you're a billionaire. The Rorqual is the old stone mansion that the rich person lives in that costs them 26 million, 45 million, that's been there for 150, 200 years, and it stands the test of time, and it's where the guy rests his head at night. That's the Rorqual for Tycoon. The Rorqual is the ship for the Tycoons. And so I will not be flying a Rorqual, not for years, but I will be flying an Orca in second quarter 2024. So yeah, and so we talked about the Orca. I don't want to go into the Rorqual, but we will show you what these ships look like on the good client that's got the high res. These ships, they are Ore class ships, and I can show you this in the ship scanner, the ship tree. Under ore, I am on the ore chart here. We start out, ore has some 20 odd ships or something. What is that? That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 ships. We start out with, if you want to be a miner in EVE, you start out with the Venture. Then you graduate, well, you start out with the Ibis, but you go to the Venture, which is a mining frigate. And then you go to the Venture, which is the mining frigate. Then you go to the Expedition frigate from there, which takes about like a month and a half of training from when you start as a Venture. And you go to the Prospect, or the Endurance is more likely. Endurance, and you probably stay in this for like a year while you do gas huffing, ice mining, high sex stuff. And you look at becoming an exhumer pilot, a mining barge pilot, while you wait for Expedition Frigate to finish out training. Then you move on to the Procurer, which is the tanky exhumer. Tanky mining barge, tanky barge. Then there's the Coveter, which is the greedy barge, and then there's the Retriever, which is the solo barge. This one's the most expensive. That's got the biggest hold. That's designed for solo players to sit there and make their cheap money when they're their first 5 years of EVE. And so then when you graduate from mining barge, you go to exhumer, and you get to most likely the Mackinac, which is the tier 2 version of the Retriever, or the Skiff, which is the tier 2 version of the Coveter, or the Hulk, which is the tier 2 version of the Procurer. That's the tanky one, but it also has really good bonuses to strip miner yield and all this. Ice harvester duration. This one has gas harvester. Skiff is the gas harvester, and the Mackinac is the ice harvester, gas harvester solo specialty. And the Hulk is more expensive, I think. It's the same thing. Hulks and Mackinacs run about the same, really. They're I don't know which one's better, but I think the Mackinac is better for solo mining. The Hulk's better for corp mining. It's got a bigger hole, which you can see reflected there in its 5% bonus to ship or hold capacity. And then later on, if you want to haul or salvage, there's the Noctis, and that's been around for 20 years. It's the Skinner ship. It's for skinning mob corpses after you're done. This is the skinning ship that'll do it in seconds. So it doesn't take minutes to skin with a Noctis. It'll just go through very fast and skin any corpse in under a second. Skinning in EVE can take between 5 and 10 seconds. This will do it like a druid feral cat. It'll just skin it in under a second. Here's the Porpoise, which is the booster ship for a small gang that's only 142 million. That's specialized for drones and mining foreman burst. And then there's the ship that I'm looking at that's 2 billion, literally 10 times the cost of this Porpoise, is the Orca. It's the big black whale. It's the big fucker, like the great white, or so the sperm whale. The Orca, 1969. It's very expensive, and it's got 5% bonus to ship cargo and ore hold capacity, 5% reduction in fuel consumption for large industrial cores, which is good because that's the cores that it uses to boost my miner. 1% bonus to shield command burst, 5% bonus in mining foreman burst, 10% bonus to drone hit points. It's also its own miner. One of the other reasons that you dual box account can do very well here is the Orca itself also mines at about the same rate that my Mackinac does. So technically I could run 2 Orcas, but I mean, I don't really need to do that. I can just do an Orca and a Mackinac, and I'm fine. But and so the Orca also is its own miner. So not only is it a G bank, it's also a tier 3 miner. It's got the same skill of mining, tier 2 miner. It's also a tier 2 miner. It's got the same mining capability as a Mackinac does in terms of its yield. So it's also a really high tier fucking miner as well. And then if you really want to get up there and spend twice the money that more like 3 times the money that an Orca is, you can get the capital booster, the work wall, which is like 10 billion to fit or something like that, which is like, I don't know, $200 American or something like that. That's the ship that your uncle, the EVE pilot, captain, or the EVE corporation leader, he plays EVE drunk on Sundays and stuff, and he invests like $25 every week. And after a couple of months, he'll blow 10 billion on a work wall, so his homies can mine at the ultimate, like, you know, at the ultimate boost, right? Out there in nullsec for his serial game face, maybe ex-military. Often you'll see ex-military people on EVE Online. They often move out to the deep waters, nullsec. I think the triangle, the Bermuda Triangle, right? They move out to the Bermuda Triangle where the world cops can't find them, and they live out there, and they mine oil deep in the Marianas Trench, and they get rich, and they come back to town with their billions of dollars, and they're like legitimized, and like kind of like that movie There Will Be Blood, and the Warquall is the big tycoon ship. Now I don't need this ship. This ship is for nullsec. I could go to nullsec, but I don't want to. I don't want to be paranoid all the time. So I'm going to be doing an Orca probably for the rest of my dual box career. And the only reason I'm willing to do the dual box is all the Orca does. It doesn't require any more attention than my Mackinac does. It warps to the belt, same as the Mackinac, and I can get them to do it at the same time, like AI, or like auto follow on a fucking MMO. And then I can have them like mine for 4 hours straight without having to go back to the station all the fucking time or even pay attention. They turn like 4 times the amount of profit for basically twice the investment or something like that. It's really like a lot of money for how much you put into it. And the whole time you're just making buku money. And eventually it's like you're making, like, I don't know, I'd say 120 million to 150 million a day. Let's pull out the old calculator and take a look at that. If you're pulling 125 million a day, 125,000,000 times 30 equals 3,750,000,000. That is enough to pay for both plexes. The plex is the monthly $25 fee. And that, my children, is how you play EVE Online for free. And it requires a $200 cash investment. It requires like 10 years of training and knowledge. It requires, well, like 2 years. 2 years of training and knowledge. If you want to do it fast, it's like 2 years. It takes a while to learn all this and even understand how to fire up the boosts on how to even fly the Orca, much less, you know, provide the boosts and all this. So you'll see me do this. I've flown an Orca before, and I've provided boosts before they've changed the ship, but they've completely rehashed the ship. It's not even close to its former glory. It's not even the same ship. It's an entirely reworked, entirely different ship now that I've never flown before, and I'm gonna fly it. And it's usually a toy reserved for entire guilds. I'm gonna do one just for myself because that's what people do in this game. They provide their own guild boosts. They're that nuts about this game, and so am I. So besides being able to swap ships, the Orca has a fitting service. The Orca receives 2 large roll bonuses to tractor beams. It's got a survey scanner bonus and all these other things. And so in mining ops, with the November 2016 Ascension update, the Orca saw a drastic change, and I have not flown one since 2016. The last time I flew an Orca was on my best friend's account, his alt account. And I would say the name, but it kind of breaks security rules. But Orca saw a drastic change in its ability in 2016 to contribute to a mining op. Off-grid boosts were eliminated in favor of the new command burst system, and the Orca was given drastically increased mining and defensive capabilities. Post-Ascension, the Orca has the following mining bonuses. 10%. So notice that it's not 10% on the RNG of the yield. It's 10% more just solid all the time, which means if you're making 100 million, this will make 10 million more, which is a lot more. You know, it's literally a tenth more money. It's a verifiable 10% increase on your verifiable income, which, while doesn't seem like much, it also it removes all of your storage needs. You don't have to warp anywhere. You can just store in the Orca, which is the real problem. Going back to base over and over and over again in Rust and EVE will drive you fucking crazy. So, you know, and that's how I feel about that. So today I set up the skills. I think we're done with the wiki now, but let me double check and verify that. Yep, 100% roll bonus to drone mining yield, and notice that the Orca itself is like the best drone miner in the game. So it also gives itself its own drone mining yield bonus. So it's also a very valid solo mining ship. It's like the best solo mining ship out there because it's so expensive. So it's a very, very multi-class ship that does a lot of things. And I've never had the balls to fly one. No, I have. I flew my best friend's Orca, and I lost it too. And I had to replace it. I had to farm the money to replace it. I have a lot of experience with an Orca, but I don't have experience with an Orca past the changes. So the ability to store and haul ore has been greatly increased. With Industrial Command Ships 5, which is the other bit of content that I wanted to do on the stream involving the Orca, which is in my skill list for EVE Online, on my alt, who is named skycat.live. We have this list yesterday was only cybernetics, but then today I populated the list with 167 real life days with some boosts. I've got a cerebral accelerator for 4 days of this, and I've got sorry, on the character I've got AUGs. I've got level 3 AUGs in here, basics or whatever they are, level 2s. And I've got a boost accelerator in for another 4 days. And I've got a mining range booster for another 15 minutes. I don't care about that. That thing's going to go away. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's cool. Sorry, a friend of mine sent me something. And then I looked at... sorry, I got my mind blown by a friend who sent me a DM there, or not a DM, but a thing. So what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the skill chart, right? So I have boosters trying to make this faster, and my current skill points are my actual skill points are sitting at, or my special is sitting at, my attributes are sitting at perception, memory, willpower, intelligence, and charisma. They're sitting at 27, 29, 26, 28, and 24. In 4 days, my booster will end, and I could consider a neural remap, which is something else that you can do in this game. If you want to learn a particular skill faster, you can do so by neural remapping, but I don't believe I'm going to mess with it. I like how generalized it is. So I'm not going to neural remap, but I did on my main character, and I had to change it back later, and that was interesting. So there's all these things you can do that even Fallout can't do in EVE Online, like change your special. You know, well, I mean, Fallout can do it, but changing the special was stolen from EVE Online. Most games are stolen from EVE Online. I hate to say it, but most of the good stuff in MMORPGs are stolen directly from CCP. I mean, I hate to say it, but they are the mother company for most content in most MMOs. If it's not them, it's old school RuneScape, Blizzard, and EverQuest and Ultima Online. But the two big ones are Ultima Online and EVE Online. Without those two games, we never would have had modern RPGs or MMORPGs. So I'm just saying, like the special mapping in Fallout, that's a direct ripoff of the EVE Online special remap, which they did first in 2000 or whatever. I don't know. Maybe the same time that Fallout 2 came out, EVE Online did. So, or not the same time, a little bit later. So I think Fallout did it first, but EVE Online perfected it. And so, as you can see, I've got boosters already trying to make this go faster. And I've got a biology in here, which is good. I'll have to replace these chips, but I mean, they were cheap in the first place. And I've got a Yeti harvester in here, which is good, and the biology and all this. I bought stuff with my faction warfare that was really expensive, which is really awesome. So my extra boost cerebral accelerator will make this faster. But if we go back and we look at my skill training, oops, I'm on the wrong client. Sorry. If we look at the skill training, sorry, I opened the wrong thing here. If we open the skills, we're gonna see that I had to learn a bunch of skills, which I haven't even started yet learning because I have to get I have to get cybernetics done first because I need level 5 augments to help me train faster. So I had to do cybernetics to 5 first. That'll take 3 days. Then I've got about a week for biology to 5, and that is a requirement for flying an orca. In order to fly an orca, you need certain things. So we'll go back and we'll take a look at that. We need biology. I'm sorry. So this is the orca guide, but yeah, and so we come down further. You're going to see the skill plan and creating an alt orca pilot, right? And so the skill plan for phase 1. This plan has 2 main parts, the support skills and the ship skills. It uses the yearly remap for the ship skills, but no remap on the support skills. The base skill plan outlined below only requires 1 remap to willpower, charisma, perception, which I'm not going to do, so we'll skip that part. If your alt is a Margalente or Mimitar, blah, blah, and Orca support skills, right? And we're going to expand this. We need tactical shield manipulation to 4, and in order to do that, I had to take... I'm sorry, no, biology. No, I'm sorry. Biology is with cybernetics. These 2 skills go towards boosters and augments, which help me train faster. And that's a higher priority thing. When that's done, we're going to learn ice harvesting so I can bring this alt out and mine at the same time as my main is. And she'll be able to do Mackinac ice harvesting the same way that my main is. And, we will do, Coveter ice mining, I think. And while I wait for the 167 days that it will take this very, very specific skill plan to finish. And all of this is exactly in order. It is exactly in order of priority. It's my first priority was getting augments and drugs in order to make my skilling go faster. Then comes ice harvesting so that I can get some income, dual boxing while I wait for the 167 days to finish before I'm actually in the orca, and I'll use the ice harvesting to pay for the orca. And I mean, I already have the money to pay for the orca, but I would prefer to farm it if I could. So then we get tactical shield manipulation to 5, which was 16 plus 2 is 18 plus 1 is like 19, like 19 days to do tactical shield manipulation, and that's with the boosters in. It'll be a little bit faster. It'll be like 17 days or something like that, 16 days. So we come and we have to do tactical shield manipulation to 4. I want it to 5 because it's just a good skill to have. I want it to 5. So I did tactical shield manipulation to 4. Well, we're going to reduce this so we can do it at the same time so I don't have to keep alt-tabbing. Sorry. I had it all set up before, but now we'll set it up really well. If I can get my damn Chrome to open. Damn it. Can't see. There we go. So, yep, and then we open the other client, which is this one. Yep. And then we take this over here, and we take this over here, and we're going to compare. And so we see that here is tactical shield manipulation, shield management to 3, which I did to 4. Because it's a good skill to have if you're gonna throw 2 billion on an ice belt. You know, that's a big risk. So you want shield management ideally. I wanted to do 5, but it also it makes it another 10 days longer, which is just too much, or 19 days longer or something. It's really a lot longer to get shield management to 5. I couldn't get shield management to 5 without making this significant longer, like a year. So hull upgrades to 3, which you can see here. I have hull upgrades to 4, mechanics to 3, mechanics to 4, which is hull upgrades, mechanics, high-speed maneuvering 2, high-speed maneuvering, which is in order to get high-speed maneuvering to 5 or 4, you must have afterburner to 3. So I had to do afterburner to 3 before I could get which was a prerequisite to high-speed maneuvering. Then I did warp drive operation to 5. Remember, this is an alt with only 5 million skill points on it. It is an alt. It is an entirely different account with a different set of skills and a different set of thing. So I have to like do all this from basically scratch. So all these things are called the Magic 13 or the Magic 13. And normally I would have had the Magic 13 done, but I didn't know about the Magic 13 back then, or I did, but so I have most of the Magic 13 done, but some of the stuff is Magic 13 that I didn't want to spend time on. Now I have to. So high speed Magic 13 is the skills that are required to fly any ship in EvE. Warp drive operation, afterburner, hull upgrade, shield management, that kind of thing. Those are Magic 13 skills. Warp drive operation is reflected here to 5. And this is because warp drive operation is skill at managing warp drive efficiency, 10% reduction in capacitor need of initializing warp. Now, warp operation to 5 was only 4 days, so I tossed it on the skill just so I could finish it. 4 days is not bad for a level 5 skill. After that, I had to do acceleration control, jury rigging. They said jury rigging 1, but I don't believe in having anything less than jury rigging 5. But jury rigging 5 is not really that required for anything. I mean, I guess I could drop a whole bunch of jury rigging training off. And we could look into whether or not you need jury rigging 5, but I don't know what the difference between jury rigging 5 is. And I could ask the help chat, but I don't know. I don't think I need to worry about that. But jury rigging did not take a long time to train anyways, so I just threw it on the list thinking that it would be good to get it taken care of. And so maybe I will reduce, though. They seem to think that I don't need jury rigging to 5, but I think I do. I think I've ran into this before. I'm fairly sure I do. I think he's wrong about that. So, or at least it's a good idea to do it. I'm fairly sure it is. So, yeah, we're going to do jury rigging to 5. That's reflected here. No. Skill information. Yep. And then we come here and we make it make it smaller again, and we pull this fire. Or here we go. And then and then we're gonna close that, and close all the current tabs. I don't care about that. And then we leave out, and we go to my skill list, which was I can't see because of the preview. Can't see because of that. There. I want the skill plan. And so, where were we? We were on shield management to 4, hull upgrades to 4 because it's only 1 day. See it? And energy grid updates, high speed maneuvering, hull upgrades, jury rigging, energy upgrades, energy grid upgrades, right? Then we move on to the next set of skills, which was leadership. Leadership to 4, which is a big one because this gives you projecting. This gives you range, but I don't think you actually need more than 1. Actually, you don't need much range for this, but I wouldn't mind having it bigger. Mining foreman to 5, which is reflected here. Mining foreman to 5. Mining foreman to 5. Mining director to 5. Spaceship command, but in order to do spaceship command, I had to do ore hauler to 4. Spaceship command to 5. We'll do that before ore hauler 4. And then industrial command ships was the big one, guys. See it? 34 days. Just on this now, with the booster, it's probably more like 29 or something like that, but it's still a long time, and that's the really big wait. I have to spend a whole month on just industrial command ships to 5, but this is an important skill because it gives you proficiency. It's skill. It allows you to do, industrial command ships. It gives you. I forget what it does, but it's very important. Industrial command ships, right? Yeah, in order to fly the Orca, you have to have industrial command ship to 5. I'm fairly sure. So then on phase 3, you can fit to fly a pirate battleship inside of the Orca and go out to nullsec with it, which is an option. I could do that later, but I'm not worried about that. That's a whole set of skills that I don't need. And then there's the suitcase skills like cloaking. Cloaking was one that I ignored that I should fix. Cloaking is something that I shouldn't ignore, and I will. I will take cloaking to 5. That should be on the end of this list. It is something that is beneficial. We'll pop it on the end of this list here, all the way to 5. Yep, there we go. 4, 5. Cloaking to 5. That's a long one. Takes 24 days. Astrometrics to 4, which is scanning. Astrometrics. I don't know what I have in that, but we'll see. Astrometrics. I have astrogeology, but I don't have astrometrics. So we'll have to level that 2, 3, 4. And what else? So astrometrics, and that's it. There's the fits. We don't have to worry about the fit for 5 months, and that concludes my EVE Online content having to do with changing to dual boxing and setting up my all to do booster mining and all the security considerations of it, all of the money considerations of it, all of the real life money considerations of it, all of the boosts, all of the training, the alts, the abilities. I synced up my accounts and I got it all done today. I began this process at 6:45 in the morning. It ended today at 1:25 in the afternoon. And it took me 7 hours. And I love it when a game is so deep and has so much depth that it can definitely take up your headspace for like 8 hours straight. No problem. No problem. No problem. So now today on Enshrouded, we'll be going out west. This game is muted, but we're going to turn it up now finally. And we'll finally begin this Enshrouded session like fucking an hour and 50 minutes later. I'm terribly sorry. But I mean, like, I never missed a chance to do some EVE content. That was about 20. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Time to go mining. Actually, I can't start Enshrouded just yet. I've got... excuse me. I've got to go mining. Gotta go mining. Gotta blow my nose. I'm gonna go grab a piece of paper towel. Be right back. Can't breathe. Music is so good. Music is so fucking good. Okay, so the beautiful thing about this is, right, is if I'm not using this second account to mine, I don't have to come back again for a long time, like days and days. I don't have to come back and worry about this. If we go to the queue and we look, there's 198 days in this list, and cybernetics will be done in 3 days. I don't have to go even worry about this again for another 3 days and 16 hours. So I'd like to set a 3-day timer for... I wish I could set a timer thing here. I think I can when the skill sets in 3 days and 16 hours. Yeah, I'll remember. It's fine. Oh, I'm rested. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so we can close this account. We're done with it for a while, like 3 days, 3.5 days. I'll pop in and just see about buying a set of Augs once I can actually fit them. And we're done with this this EVE University EVE crash course session on being an Orca pilot. And, you know, I delivered it exactly as any good EVE professor would. And when you talk for 2 hours like that, you get stuffed up. So I had to go blow my nose. Sorry about that. So now we will go about our business. We will close all of this EVE session, and we will go play some Enshrouded. We are going west to that place, which is that way. And we're going to jump off this fucking thing and go base diving here. Wow. I think I want to try again. I didn't know. Oh, I'm in the fog. Yeah. Is this out of it? Am I out of it here? No. Ah! What? Ah! Ah! This weapon is far too slow. Way too slow. Ah, get out. Get out. Get out. Come on, man. Move, move, move. Oh, I was going to go out. I'm sorry, I forgot one more thing. I want to go out mining now. So we'll take a look at that. I don't know why my screen keeps getting changed. It's so annoying. Now the UI scaling seems weird. Oh, good. There's one here. Oh, I'm on a timer, aren't I? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm on a timer. Forgot. Damn it. That's right. We'll deal with that first. There. That's out of it, I think. Nice, that was fun. Yay! Mission successful. Or not successful, but like definitely in the right way. Or in the right direction. Ooh, I thought of a trick. I thought of a trick I can do. No, but that won't work, will it? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's alright. Damn it. Just thinking about that.
Warp drive active.
Beautiful. I like the pink with the fog and everything as the sun sets. Fucking awesome. Oh, Outward went on sale today. That's kind of funny. How much? If it's really cheap, I'll buy it. I do like Outward. Oops. Outward for $6. I'll take it. Shit, I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. $6. Oh, sold. Yep. Yeah, I bought Outward. Yay. Okay, so, hey, no one's here, huh? Sweet. Outward is 50 gigs. God damn. But I bought it. $6. So cool. wow. Because he's not there, it's glitched. Oh my god. I'm gonna go back. I'm fucking full. That's weird. Like, apparently all those people's homes are just my property now or something. I don't know. I can travel to any of those homes, apparently. Well, I'm full, and my likelihood of... Weird.
There of a settlement. Right, we're gonna continue to make our way out to sea, and I'll speed this process up so you don't have to sit here watching it. Similar to what we do with the B-17. Yeah, we'll speed this up and save us a lot of time. So I'll see you back in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, we have, I was going to say driven through the night, but sailed through the night. And we are now early morning. Oh, I've got a flickering ghost image there. We're now early morning of September the 1st, the day of the invasion. So, this is going to be quite the day indeed. So, I thought I'd start off by showing you around the ship. This is a U-boat. I think it's an A-class. I don't know how you put. I think it's a V2A or is it 7A? I don't know if they're Roman numerals. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure that is the class. It's the classic U-boat shape, anyway, isn't it? If you had a toy as a child of a U-boat or a submarine, it would be this one. It is absolutely glorious. Okay, so we'll start up the bow of the ship as we always do. Put your arms out wide. Spread your arms and just shout, "I'm the king of the world!" You have to do that. And hope to goodness the crew and I actually paying attention and watching you do that. Are you watching me do that? Yep, he was watching me do that. Oh, that's embarrassing. It's going to take another 60 years before that reference becomes, mainstream. Okay, so we've got this serrated blade on the front, which I think is for cutting through things like mine cables and submarine netting and all sorts of stuff, so we don't get tangled in it, which is pretty cool. We come up the main deck here and we have our deck gun, which we will use in beautiful calm waters like this if we find ourselves some unarmed, unescorted merchant shipping. That is definitely going to be used against them. Look at this formidable looking thing, isn't it? Obviously, the deck gun was primarily used at the beginning of the war. Later on, obviously, the submarines had to spend more and more time submerged, and they started to arm the merchant shipping. So you don't really want to go toe to toe with another ship with this gun. If they're unarmed, then that's fine. Or if they got light guns, like rifles or something, then you're fine. But any ship with a sizable gun, you do not want to go toe to toe with, which is pretty good. Past the conning tower, and we have our flat gun. So if we get strafed by an enemy aircraft, if they spot us without us seeing them, we do have a little bit of defense. We've just got this one gun. I think we can upgrade this to a twin gun, but even so,
in a game of the glider, what do you care if I land on this thing?
We'll just,
what do you care if I land on that? That's
get
weird.
out of the way, and hopefully so they don't report us. If they report us, of course, they're going to bring bombers in, dropping depth charges and torpedoes, and you'll also be signalling in to bring the coastal command ships.
Oh, I had to go home. Damn it.
As well to have a go at us, which won't be fun. Look at this beautiful frothy texture. Isn't that lovely? I love that. I'm going to spray on my face. I love this kind of bubbly texture. This is our aft torpedo tube. We've only got one rear firing torpedo tube, and there she is. And obviously under there are our propellers. As you can see the spray getting kicked up, but that is looking glorious. It's a lovely morning actually, isn't it? Absolutely lovely morning. Right. We'll come back to the guys on watch around the conning tower. Make our way up the ladder. So this is our attack periscope. I can bring that up like that. And so this is where we'll be sitting just under this decking here in the con tower, and we'll be doing our attacks on shipping, which is pretty cool. And over here, this one here, that's the observation periscope. Yeah, he's pointing into it. Thanks, bud. This is slightly, well, it's got a slightly bigger optical head on it, I believe, so it lets more light in, so it's actually quite good for observation. You get a better field of view, but it doesn't go obviously as high as the attack periscope, so we'll use that one mainly when we are in the tower waiting to strike at some ships when we're submerged, which would be quite good. Now we've got the watch officer here on duty. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Watch officer, Didier, Ep, I don't know. Man the deck gun, we can tell him. Man the flat gun. Number 2, how's your family?
My wife complains the kids are behaving like rascals. I'm so proud of them. Chips of the old block.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Keep up the good work, and we'll leave them to it. Thanks for all your work. Keep on spotting out those ships and aircraft, which is quite good. So, welcome below deck into the conning tower. Close that hatch up. We've got, this is where pretty much the captain would normally sit. We've got a couple of bottles of wine there, you know, good vintage. We've got our charts. We've got some documents here. We've got what looks to be a identification book, and we can sit down here. This is our attack periscope, as you can see, and I should be able to swing it round. Yeah. Ooh. And we keep an eye on these guys. Make sure they're doing their duty. But yeah, that's obviously what we'd use. It's quite very private here. Usually only the captain would be up here during the run. Right. Let's descend into the main command area of the ship. And welcome to the main command area. This is the navigator. Hello. He's not one for talking.
Awaiting your orders, Captain.
This is Emil. Nothing to say to Emil, and obviously that's where the charts where he does his navigation. We've got this dude here, our executive officer, Henrik von Dubennecker. So that's a name and a half, isn't it? So we can tell him to go to Reek for silent running battle stations. Do you think we stand a chance against the Royal Navy?
War, Herr Cologne, is a matter of will, not fleet size.
Okay, he's doing the old Yoda thing, which is
Jawohl,
great.
Herr Cologne.
Keep up the good work. Well done, bud. This is obviously where the bosun and the chief will be sitting. This is where they control the engine speeds and the dive planes and depth and everything like that, which is cool. Obviously, we've done the navigation. He's got his, which will be his wife or maybe a sweetheart. I think if that's his wife, he's done very well for himself. And we're working our way towards the back of the ship. So we'll come through into the crew chamber. We've got some oranges in a box there. And we've got some bananas and some dried meat hanging up, which is quite good. We've got the crew just reading their letters, chilling out, looking quite awkward because the captain's staring at them. That's fine. Oop. Let's come around him. Into the galley where we've got our cook.
Try some of this stew, Captain.
Oh, I can't have any stew. What a shame. Hackle, I see you brought your violin along.
Yeah, the bosun cut my strings, so there's enough noise down here.
Oh, so he's not. I thought we were going to have like a violin like we had in Pirates Gold, or Sid Meier's Pirates, where violins would keep the crew's morale up on long journeys. But clearly not. You just let him cut your strings.
Trust me, that score isn't settled. I'll get him back somehow.
Okay, you get him back.
Try some of this stew, Captain.
So if we have a look at him, he doesn't have any abilities. We have no promotion points to currently give him. So, grew up and as impoverished circumstances. It's look at this guy pinching some food.
Torn claw,
That's
dried
brilliant.
fur, and string.
His family lost everything after World War I. His father blamed the British and the Treaty of Versailles, fueling anti-English sentiment in the young Olaf. He wanted to join the Kriegsmarine, didn't meet the physical requirements, so became a cook instead. He's pro-German, perhaps a little bit pro-Nazi, and wants payback against the British. His personal hobby is playing the violin, as poorly as he cooks, which gets him into constant trouble with the bosun. Okay, cool. That's quite a nice little insight into it. And now he's wielding his knife to kind of shoot the guy off. Right, so from the galley we come into the engine room, and look at this. Look at the engines purr. Those beautiful diesel engines. I can sit and watch it. It's beautiful watching all the little pistons going down, isn't it? This must be our chief engineer.
Jawohl, Herr Cologne.
Motor officer, Willy Peltz. Hello, Willy. Let's have a look at Willy. Willy was born and raised in Munich. He began training as an engineer for BMW Motorworks. His family moved to Kiel and he became interested in boats. Obviously wanted to join the Navy as an engineer, was a clear path for him. He worked regular boats, but since was promoted to chief mechanic, was easier on the submarine, ended up on the U-boats. Willie loves engines more than he loves his friends. He loves grease and the smell and the noise. He has lost a fingertip to his engines and has a cut below his eye from repairs. Highly dependable and quite innovative when it comes to increasing the boat's performance. He is a passionate gambler and loves to play cards. Only thing he hates to do is lose. Willie wants to win the war but is not pro-Nazi. Okay, so Willie sounds like a decent guy. Where's he gone? Oh, there he is. Oh, look, there's the cut on his eye. Where's your finger? I want to see which finger you lost. Maybe we'll see that another time. So there's Willie in the engine room, which is fantastic. And this is the aft torpedo bay, as it were. And here we have Gunner Max Buer. Let's have a look at Max. Born and raised in Wilhelmshaven, to father who worked at the docks. That was really difficult. He's an amateur boxer. He's like a force of nature, not the sharpest tool in the shed, but that's fine. But very physical, strong, and athletic. He dreamed to become a professional boxer, but he got a girl pregnant, had to marry her, and needed to make money, so he joined the Navy. He's rather quiet, and he comes to life when talking about boxing. He's a skilled gunner, though politically unmotivated, but doesn't feel like he has a choice about the war. Okay, so this guy sounds like a decent guy as well. He's a decent guy, you know, he's just trying to make best of the circumstances. And these guys just look awkward when the captain's about. At ease. Other way, Willie. Thanks. Keep up the good work, guys. Great stuff. I'll tell you what, I'll close the door to the galley, just so we can keep the diesel fumes and the noise out of the galley and the quarters where the men are trying to get some rest. Right. So we could probably have a look at these guys. I didn't think to have a look at this. So, Emil, our navigator, oldest crew member of the ship, has already served with the submarine in World War I. Wow. After the war, he had trouble returning to civilian life.
Excuse me.
Never integrated. He was forced to work for the Allies, who demoralised him completely. He began to drink and served as a navigator on the small freighters. Now, with the new war on the horizon, Emil thinks that he can rewrite history and finally see his beloved Germany win. He identifies with Hitler's vision of punishing the victors of World War I. For what they've done to the Germans. Okay, Emil sounds like he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's usually very quiet and a little nerdy. He keeps to himself, but does occasionally drink. He is an excellent navigator and brings a lot of experience to the table. They call him the dinosaur because he's a relic from World War I. Okay, so he sounds like, yeah, he's had a tough life, this dude, and obviously that's made him who he is. This is our XO. Oh, he's just disappeared. Let's have a quick bio of our XO. Career as a naval officer who recently graduated from the Marine School Flensburg Merwick, the school of both his father and Karl Donitz. Is that as in Commodore Donitz? Graduated from Dubelnecker's father and Donitz have been long-term friends. Oh. Both encouraging Enric to a career in the Kriegsmarine. When he lost an eye during training exercise, his naval career seemed over before it started. However, I scrolled up at the wrong time. However, thanks to his father's close relations with Donitz, he graduated and was assigned as an XO on a U-boat. He's extremely loyal to his father and Donitz, as well as being very pro-Nazi. Of course, he also wants to prove himself. Okay. This guy has connections. We need to keep an eye out for him. Okay. Well, that's good to know, actually. Let's just close the door while we're talking. Into the fore of the ship. This is the captain's quarters. Here is my bed with the Kriegsmarine bedspread set. I was hoping for a Spider-Man set, but no, apparently they only had the Kriegsmarine set in order, which is fine. Here we have the radio man.
Warp drive active.
Always passionate about radios. He loves technology and also very innovative. innovative. Oh my goodness me. Put my teeth in.
Warp drive
He is the
active.
second youngest crew member on board and still transitioning from boyhood to manhood. His ears are excellent, but his ability to handle stress is not. Wolfie is respected by the crew simply because they know their lives depend on him. He is so often spared harassment. He's usually very professional, also quite stubborn. I like that trait. He doesn't shy away from fighting if necessary. His father passed away at an early age, so he was raised by his older brother and mother. He joined the Navy after he was recruited. At an event, Wolfie is not a Nazi, but believes it is his duty to serve his fatherland. He sounds like
Docking
a decent
request
chap
accepted.
as well. So let's just have a quick chat with Wolfie. We can request. How's your brother? Your brother who raised you with your mum is on the Bismarck.
He's fine, Lieutenant. Herr Caroline, thanks. He's very honored to serve on such an outstanding ship.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Your parent must be very proud.
Herr Caroline, especially our mother.
Yeah. Nothing.
Herr Caroline.
Keep up the good work. Thanks, Wolfie. Here's our sonar boy,
Jawohl, Herr Caroline.
Benno. Hello, Benno. How are you doing, Benno?
I'm doing all right, Captain. No complaints. Thank you.
Oh, so is no one picking on you? Let's read his bio. Benno is really just a boy. Joined the Navy after his father felt that he was too much of a mama's boy. He's a very sensitive guy, not a tough like the rest of the U-boat crew, which often makes him a victim for their comments and harassment. Oh no! He doesn't have any friends aboard the sub. He tries to avoid the rest of the crew. Bosun looks after him, but can't always keep him from getting harassed. Benno always writes letters to his mother, which of course provides even more fodder for the crew when found. He begins to cry if his stress is too high. Oh no! Oh, that's awful. Right, if
Jawohl, Herr
anyone...
Caroline.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Captain.
Is anyone picking on you? Nothing serious, Captain. Well, let me know if there's trouble.
Okay, Captain. I'll let you know if something happens.
Okay.
Jawohl, Herr Caroline.
I've got your back. It's good to know the bosun's after you as well. Keep up the good work, son. Ah. Okay, so from a little bit forward, we got more of the crew quarters, and I think that's probably the toilet, the head, and we come into the 4 torpedo room. And look at the size of these torpedoes. I don't think, well, I've never really, you never really get a feel for how big they are, but look at the length and size
God
of these
damn,
babies.
man.
They are
Yeah, it's so
massive.
big.
And then we've got the 4 firing torpedo tubes here.
Jawohl, Herr Caroline.
And this is Kurt Forst. Kurt was born and raised in Hamburg. He's obviously our torpedo man. Joins the Kriegsmarine when he was 16. Confident and a ladies' man. Okay. He always hides his dirty magazines and collects American pin-ups. His nickname. Steck Cyrene means put her in. Okay, put her in. They're talking about the torpedo. Yeah, going into the torpedo tube. The first torpedoes he loads. There we go, thank goodness for that. But of course, there's also sexual innuendo, which I don't understand at all. He always has a dirty joke to tell, and often makes fun of the young crew, especially Benno. Kurt is not a real Nazi, but he does get a kick out of sinking other ships. Okay, so he's a bit of a jerk, but yeah, I'm gonna have to say to you. But he's obviously he doesn't mean bad. He's just a bit of one of those guys. Let's close the door to him. Right. So that is a tour of our ship and the crew. I think we've spoken to most of them. There may be the odd one which we. Hang on. So here, got a bit of spray on our face. Like that.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have a look at Didier. Enthusiastic, bit inexperienced, brave and ready to jump into battle. Good. He respects us as captain. Us? We're talking to the third party now. He loves to play jokes, especially on the uptight XO, who we know has connections to the Commodore, which is a bit worrying. Always plays tricks on the crew, but often gets into trouble with bosun for it. He is somehow opportunistic and also a little bit racist, which is not very good. There is one thing he hates, though. If you shorten his name to Depp, which means idiot in German, he gets very upset. He doesn't think it's funny and begins to pout. Okay, so this is a bit of a joke guy who can't take a joke on himself, which is quite interesting. That is the makeup of the crew. An interesting crew, I'm sure you'll agree. Right. let's have a quick look where we are. So we're almost to the edge of our patrol point, which is good. And we know the 1st of September, here is the 1st of September, we know the attack is happening any second now. So, yeah, we need to get in here. Now what we're going to do, we're probably going to go
New waypoint. Course 320.
like this, just to kind of fill it out, and then we'll come down and check out these ports, I think. So that's probably going to be our objective going forward. So, I will press on, and I will bring you back when something significant happens. So I'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back, guys. We've just had a call. There's a task force being sighted at 190, which is obviously 180 is going to be directly behind us. So 190. Ah, there we go. Contact being spotted. We've also got a contact up front. We've just been caught in the. You can see the grey. That's their kind of their awareness and their visibility. So there's also something out the front here which I can't see. They haven't spotted that one there, although it's on the map. So it's about there. Can you see it? Now a circle. I'm not sure. That looks like a warship behind us. Because a triangle is usually a warship. I'm wondering what the circle is. Is it submarine? So the classic icons. So the triangle is a warship, or a square on its point basically is a warship. A circle, I'm not quite sure. Now a normal, we don't actually have a contact. So a normal, a square on its side with a flat base at the bottom would be a merchant ship. And we are coming here and we've got this contact. Actually, if I click on it, does it do anything? No, it doesn't tell me what it is. It's a ship. Right, let's go into Captain's log. We did receive a message. So let's check out our message. No, it's just the same one, was it? It just, okay, it wasn't a new message, it was just that one had just re-highlighted. That's fine, okay, it's a slow bug. Not going to worry about that. So, I think what we're probably going to need to do is, let's go to periscope depth.
Are we done here?
Why can't I go? I'll tell you why I can't go to periscope depth. Is because I'm standing on the actual. I need to get below deck before I can order periscope depth. Otherwise, I'll drown myself, which is never a good idea. So now, if I come down here and now I order periscope depth.
Periscope depth.
There we go. How's wife Yozel? Oh, is it Yozel or Joseph? What's he got? That's an F, isn't it? Joseph.
Later is better. Still bad when the parents are with her. I guess there isn't much I could do for her anyway.
Oh no. I like Joseph and his wife's not very well. Oh no, and unfortunately his parents are looking after her, but
Pressure hull breached!
oh, we've been shot at.
Diesel propulsion not functional! Batteries damaged! Current depth 10 meters! Pressure
Yep.
hull repaired!
Okay, that's where the
Shut
water's
down
coming.
diesel engines!
We need to dive. We need to dive quickly. That ship has seen us and she is firing. We're taking a little bit of damage. Let's go down to 30 meters.
New depth 30 meters.
Let's ping underneath.
The keel is 170
Okay, we've got plenty of room. We've got plenty of room to get below. Got an indicator
Current
there.
depth 20 meters.
Right, let's have a quick look.
Batteries now
systems.
operational.
Hull integrity 89%.
Current depth
We did take a little bit of a
30 meters.
hit. Torpedoes, hydrophones seem to be okay. Radio room, hydrophones okay. Observation periscope okay. Port diesel engine 97%. Okay, they're working on the port diesel engine. Starboard diesel engine has taken a bit of a knock as well, 98%. Aft battery is 99%. Everything's okay in the motor room. The deck room appears to be okay. Okay. What we'll do,
Minimum speed ahead.
start to go quiet. Just go and check on the engine room where it's all damaged. Yep, we've got some water leaking in here, you can tell. How you doing, Willie? You got it under control?
6
So weird, we
hours.
seem to have a bit of a list.
6 hours for dry berries. That's funny. 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours. Jesus.
As we potentially got a slight damaged hull, I'm going to start closing the doors, just in case we get a bit of a leak.
Diesel engines repaired.
Excellent, well done,
Waiting
Willie.
your orders, Captain.
I didn't select you. Stop. That's really annoying. They will like to just tell you what they're doing. Right. So battery is 98%, fuel level is 100%. Why is fuel level 100%? We should have used some fuel, you know, sailing out here. And we did put limited... Oh, do we put limited... Yeah, we put limited fuel as a yes, didn't we? So I'm surprised we haven't used any. That's a bit weird. Right. Let's have a look at the...
Waiting your orders, Captain.
Nothing to say, Emil. Get out of my face, man. Right. So obviously, now that the watch crews are now below deck, we haven't got visible contact of this ship over here or this ship down here. We do have, or looks to have, a sonar contact though. So let's go and have a tippy-toe dance our way through there. What that was about. And let's have a listen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Captain. No complaints.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Good to hear, Benno. Who's this chap?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's our watch officer. Can we jump on the... Nothing to say, go away. I want to jump on the... There we go. On the old hydrophones. So we should have one that was 190, wasn't it? He's still coming, you can hear the pulse of the engine. Was a contact probably to about 30 degrees. Let's move the hydrophone up to about 30 degrees. There's definitely something there, isn't there? So 10, 11 or 12 degrees is the noises part. Okay, so we've definitely got 2 contacts, fore and aft. This is the one I'm worried about. This is the... that is the ship, I think, the warship. Now, this is where it comes to it. Do you want me to be able to go external and have a look at the... what's attacking us, or do you want me to stay in the dark? I think for this one, let's go above external and see what's going on, and then you can tell me if you want to stop this in future, so we can literally just play it by ear and have the same kind of realism that the crews on the ship would have as well. I'm quite open to either. Obviously for any damage or sinking, that's why I wanted the external view. And here we are. Oh yes, it's a Polish cruiser of some sort. Yes, okay. We've got to be careful of her. And if we go forward, so what was this up front? There's something about 10-12 degrees. I don't see anything. Do you? Now this is just pure cheating, by the way. Ah, what is that? It's the smallest ship in the world.
Diesel engines repaired.
Excellent. Oh, it is a submarine. It is a submarine. Oh, look at this. What is this?
What?
It's a diddy little submarine. His dive planes are all sorts of weird. I guess he had a... Did he blow ballast and come straight up? I don't know. That's really weird. He's got a deck gun. That's quite a diddy little submarine. I'm not sure why he's got his periscope up either. It's a bit weird. Okay, so we got a... I think that's got to be... That was appearing red, so that's got to be an enemy submarine in front of us. And we've got a... cruiser behind us. So what we need to do, if we're working on the basis that... Where's the old protractor? There you go. I'll just pretend I know what I'm doing here. Is that a protractor? No. Okay. That's a compass, isn't it? That's... so if we've got a... 178... 150... Hang on, where are we? Where's 190? That can't be right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. That's wrong. Okay, so it's coming that way. What we want to do... Let's change this a little bit. We'll actually delete what we've currently got there. Let's delete these. We'll go, yes, we'll go 90 degrees to the left, and then we'll...
New waypoint, course 305.
And hopefully, if the cruiser takes the same projected course, by the time she storms up behind us, let's go to 2
Slow
speed,
speed ahead.
slow speed ahead, we might be able to get a solution on her. So I will speed up time because this is going to be a little bit of slow manoeuvring and it could take a little bit of time, so I'll see you in a little while. Hi guys, welcome back. We've now gone up to periscope depth, so we're going to have a little look around. We've done our little manoeuvre, and hopefully the ship is somewhere in front of us. Every chance that I completely miscalculate that, and if the ship had already seen us, which it had done because it was firing at us, then there's every chance that it's shot straight by. So it's coming from over there. It's not over there now. What we can do, let's just keep the periscope as close to the waterline as we can, so it obviously presents less of a silhouette for them to spot us. Let's go a little bit up a little bit so we don't get the water knocking against it. Fortunately it's a nice calm day so we can have a good visibility. So that is dead centre for us. We may have miscalculated this, or the ship may have given up. Coming to 180 degrees. No. Okay, we've lost it. In a way, that's quite good because I'm just going to chance a little bit more. Zoom in. Chance a little bit more height for the periscope. Okay, that's going. Okay. There's no longer... Oh, what was that? Oh, there's something there. What is that? Is that the submarine, maybe? So that's at 320. Okay. As we have a quick save. Do you see him? Oh my god, there he is. And, bizarrely, Why has he got that indicator above him? We switched that off. Okay, let's lock that. Let's lock onto you.
Tracking new target.
All stop.
Right, so here we are. So what we need to do basically is match up the numbers. So you can set your torpedo to slow, medium or fast settings. You've also got the set the depth of the torpedo.
Set to 1 meters.
We're going to keep it obviously shallow for this guy. I'm actually quite tempted to have a go at him with the deck gun. He has a deck gun, but okay, he's coming around to our right hand side now. Well, I'll tell you one thing, I wasn't expecting submarine on submarine action for the this episode. Oh yeah, anyway, as I was saying, so you can set the speed, and depending, so if you look at this yellow line, this is our predictive course of the torpedo. So if you change the speed, you can see the numbers move, and what you need to do basically is match up the numbers with the numbers there. So if we wanted to go for 1, for example, we would select that and we'd move that and try and get the 1 onto the 1 there, if that makes sense. Maybe move 2. Could potentially get the 2, but she's moving behind us now. Yeah, this is not good. She's turning though, she may come back. Looks like she's on a patrol, maybe. So we're going to sit and observe for a little bit. Let's come out of travelling mode for a second. I am tempted to have a go with the guns, you know. Is there anything else about? It's not going to take many hits with a deck gun to take that out. She does have a deck gun herself though, so that could potentially be more interesting than we really want. I really don't know why the health bars are above her head. We switched them off. That's quite frustrating. Surface the boat. We're going to start the
Minimum
engines.
speed ahead.
We do not want to be stationary.
Half speed ahead. New course 120 degrees.
As we surface the boat. Bring down the periscope, we don't need that. Right.
Surface the boat.
Get on that deck gun. There we go, we've got the crew on the deck gun. Fantastic. Right. Let me up there. Let me up. Let me up. Where is she? Can you see her? As she dives. Report. I can't see her. She's disappeared. She's dived. Ah, crap. Ah, now I'm nervous. There she is. I see you. Right, jump on the gun. Right, let's bring up the sight. Where is she? There she is. I see her. Right, we can use this as a basic. So this is so that's 3,000 meters. Oh, I've lost the periscope. There. The periscope's there. Let's
New
head.
course 171 degrees.
We don't want to 2,000 meters. We'll try back from 2,000 meters. Although we should be closing in, so let's go for 1,500. get our shots on target be useful. That is not too bad. Let's go to 1400. Oh, the do you know what? The hit her. She's coming straight for us. No, she's coming straight for us. Obviously, this is giving us an advantage which we wouldn't normally have. Right there now. These must be causing some damage to her. Go to 1,000 meters. Wide of the mark. I'm regretting doing the gun now. I think she may try and sink us. She's coming straight for us. Let's hold our nerve. Actually, we can come out of the visual. We can probably just do it via visual range now. The with the this. Far in front of her then. I'm very conscious we need to get moving very soon. Right.
Half speed ahead. You course 214 degrees.
I don't want to go too perpendicular to her, if that's the right word, because I don't want to line myself up for a shot. It looks like she's coming alongside, is she? Probably find you can't actually sink some of these in this game. I'm just wasting my ammo. Put a hole in the conning tower, she'll soon leak. She's right there! We'll be able to see her in a second.
You course 204 degrees.
The good thing is she is parallel with us. Oh, there we go. That struck her. Where do we get her?
Minimum speed ahead.
Yeah, I think we're going to abandon the dead gun. It's not really working. We've got one strike on her, but we're using out far too much ammo. Get up the... Why wouldn't you get up there? Okay.
Minimum speed ahead. Minimum speed back.
Where is she? There she is. Fortunately, I don't think I can just lock on to... Full stop.
I'll stop.
I wonder if I can tricks one through her. If we go for a depth of maybe, she's going to be. What are we? We are.
5 meters.
We're at 4 meters. So if we set it to 4.2 meters.
4